Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 260 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Drue from Riptide in Maine. Let's go!
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan. I am the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest today was the wonderful Jarrod Hennis from Rockford Art Deli. He was on here a long time ago, but he's been a great friend of the show, great friend of mine. Runs an awesome shop where he prints in his retail location. If you don't know of Jarrod, then you've been living under a rock. He's a great dude. Check him out on Instagram, Rockford Art Deli. And say hey to him. We got the opportunity to talk with my buddy Drue from Riptide. He used to be called 320 Inc. He's in Maine. He obviously just went through a little while ago a rebrand and changed everything over to Riptide. And we got on to talk to him about a lot of things. We got into rebranding. We got into the importance of having proper management in your shop. We talked about is spending a lot of money on SEO and ads and all these other things really worth it for your shop? Or is it better to kind of step back and really go toward targeted clients that you really want to have? We also talked about kind of what do we want as owners out of this whole thing? Like, what are we looking for later on if we want to sell or if we don't want to sell? Or how does our shop operate when we're not around? This was a great one. We really got into a lot of different things, and I think you guys would really benefit from listening to the whole thing. It was really good. I did want to mention that I haven't posted about this or anything yet, but we do have a new and improved updated website, shirtshowofficial.com. There are a lot more things to come on there. Right now, it's just up, and there's a couple pages, but we are planning on adding a whole shop hacks page that is going to have hopefully all the shop hacks we've ever learned, links to things, descriptions of things. We're going to try to, get some GPT stuff in there, make it a resource, have articles from, top people in our industry talking about how-tos and all these other things. So check it out. One of the parts of that is that we have a new newsletter that we're going to start putting out weekly. I am going to write, kind of what I learned from the episode that I just put out, plus also some industry news or, hey, I'm going to be at this event. You guys want to come hang out? That kind of thing. Also, too, not that you guys need another t-shirt, but I would love to, if you want to support the show, we are going to have some new merch coming up. I have button packs coming. I have this sweet metal Shirt Show shirt. There's a bunch of other ones on there too that we've had before, but some new stuff is coming. So if you want to support the show, it means a lot to me. Just to kind of see that you guys care is pretty sweet. This show would not be possible without our amazing partners. Frank. It all starts with a screen. It's called screen printing for a reason. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. Stop wasting your precious press time and get the right tool for the right job. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. I just had a long phone call with Frank the other day. I do love this man. He pours his heart and soul into making the industry's best screens. So if you are not using his screens, you should go buy a sample pack, check him out. Great human being. It's worth it. I promise you. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment makes reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is a great time to check them out because they have a new monthly giveaway where you can have a chance to win $250 in product credit. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. EasyWay, it's the easiest way. GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check them out at graphxsource.com. I'm telling you, if you have a one-man art department or if you're looking to expand or you just need help with it, digitizing or, anything to do with the art or the shop, hit up Nick Wood at Graphic Source. SNS Activewear and Alpha Broder are integrating to become your premier partner for the apparel industry with one website, one purchase order, and 14 distribution centers with over 100 beloved brands. You can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Don't forget they have combined net term limits to benefit your business like never before. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. I'm going to leave a little side note on here. I have a newish customer who wanted me to use a different distro, and I want to tell you how distraught and weird it was for me to not order all of my stuff from SNS, and the inconvenience of being like, oh, I have to sign up at a new website, get this, get the wholesale, get going. I was like, hey, from now on, just push all your customers to order stuff from SNS. It makes my life easier. It makes your life easier. It's the best out there. Quit messing around. Just do it. Just go to ssactivewear.com. Today's episode is brought to you by American Apparel, makers of the iconic 2001 tee. Soft, fitted, and always in style, this shirt has been the go-to for brands, bands, and print shops for decades. If you want the shirt that everyone wants to wear, get the 2001. This episode is going to come out next Monday. I am going to be in Nashville Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for a Apparelist event. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I am going to be working the American Apparel booth at GovVol in New York City. I am going to be live printing all 3 days. So if you're going to be there, come say hey, and I will make you a shirt. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate in our industry on all things heat press. I can't say that enough. Like, Stahls, to me, is the reason why I loved partnering with them is they are so focused on education and making sure you as the decorator are so knowledgeable on the products that they can offer. Just so there's no guesswork. Like, they will make sure you are putting out the best possible product for your customers. So that alone should make you want to head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. Last but not least, if you guys can take a second, if you're listening to this or watching this, just hit the like button, subscribe. It means a lot to me. If you want to leave a comment on YouTube, that's great. I will personally comment back. I would love to hear your feedback on the episode, or if you want to hear from some other topic or some other guest, let me know. If you DM me on Shirt Show on Instagram, I want to hear from you guys. Just let me know, whatever you're into. I've got a bunch of new things coming out. I would love your feedback. So I appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the episode.
Yo.
What up, handsome?
Hey, how are you?
Look at you in that like well-lit, wonderful studio area.
It's just my office.
Well, some of us get a dark, dingy hole in the ground. And,
I've got like 4 windows in my office. It's like the corner of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I love it. It's nice.
Yeah, man. How you been?
Good. It's been a little while.
I know.
I haven't seen you in person. I haven't, I mean, I hear things and I see things on the internet, but that's not the same as catching up.
No, I've been out of the loop for a few years, I think. Yeah. I've been in a little hermit hole just crushing it.
So you are in a dark hole.
I am. It's just they let me up in my office when I have to be on the computer.
Cool.
No, I've been back on press for like the last 6 months.
Yeah, I heard Christine told me you were kind of. I want to hear all about that. Last time I talked to you like on this platform was episode 110. So that was like 140 something episodes ago. So,
yeah, hot minute ago.
So what's going on? What changed? What happened?
Economy, obviously, local economy mostly. So like, I don't know, it was probably the last 2 years. Everything was going really good. Then I invested in people and didn't make any more money. So we started pulling back. And then really COVID, we're still kind of catching up from that because we took out some loans and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that kind of caught up, and then just local economy changed. So we couldn't really raise any of our prices because everybody else was printing so cheap in town. Yeah. And still is. And it's silly. And Yeah, so we've just been playing that game and then just trying new marketing tactics and all that fun stuff. But one of the big things that I've been thinking about is, Rad's been around, the retail line of Rad's been around 14 years now. So it's like, did we plateau? Does everyone have enough Rockford shirts?
Well, the funny thing about that is, like, I've asked you even over the years, like I would say over the last, I don't know, like 10 years or something, is like, how many fucking Rockford designs can you make?
Yeah.
And every time I ask you, you're like, yeah, no, we got new ones. It's good. And that's true. Like, you're still going and kicking and all this other stuff. But it's also like you said, like, if you're a local Rockford person and you're buying shirts from you, like, at what point are they like, I have 450 Rockford shirts?
And that's how they've been, but really we just keep cranking them out. Like my creative director, Christian, he's in England. You've used Christian before. Yeah. So he's been full-time now, maybe 2 years, and just crushes it. Like he's so good.
He's doing a great job. I mean, I see, the funny thing about you is, like, I see just like the Rockford Instagram or whatever, not like you personally, but like the new shirts or whatever. And I'm like, he's fucking still making killer designs, dude.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's just, they just keep cranking them out. And then, we've jumped on a lot of current events lately and try to piggyback on that. But and then 815, like the area code, it's like, I'm sick of printing 815, but like it means so much in this community. It's like, everyone's like, you got new 815 shirts? And I'm like, no, like, but so we have to keep, we retired it. Like the OG one we did, like, I think last year on 815 day, we're like, okay, guys, we're not going to print this anymore. We're going to change it up and do some new stuff. And like,
they revolted. Yeah,
it was kind of weird. I mean, we still haven't put it back yet. We just changed it and changed the parentheses to like a bracket, a little different bracket. But yeah, people still want Rockford, and now we're focusing a little bit more on custom again and trying to go out, because we don't do sales. We just wait for people to come to us. We don't have any outbound sales. So we're kind of like trying to amp that back up so we can at least leverage out like a 50-50 vibe to get, 50%, because we're still like pretty much 50-50, where 50% our own retail and then 50% is custom. Right. But I have a small team now. We were down 6 people since last August.
Yeah. See, that's something, I don't know, maybe we should wait for Drue. I mean, he's going to be here in like 7 minutes. But that's something I would love to talk about too, because I'm experiencing the same thing. I think that pre-COVID, I kind of did this whole thing of like, I mean, I've talked about it on the show a bunch of times about how I tried to get more like official or more of a business person, because for 15 years, you're a punk kid and friends who own a screen printing shop and you're trying to figure it out. Right. Well, at a certain point you get to where like, okay, we figured this out. Like, it's a company now. Oh, we should add 401k and we should try to insurance. We should try to do this and this. And then you start doing that stuff and you're like, oh, like I'm putting big boy money into this now. Like, am I still cool with people like fucking just chilling and doing nothing all day and kind of like playing video games and this and this? And it's like, oh, maybe we should set some ground rules. You know what I mean?
But it's hard to go back. It's hard
that's exactly the thing, is like me and Bill and Brian and Chris and stuff kind of like thought of this, okay, well, we need to put our big boy pants on and kind of like talk to staff and set up rules and set up a handbook and set up all these things. And then you do that, and then there's people that are just employees that are like, fuck that shit. Like, this is dumb. Like, you're being the man or whatever. And it's like,
be like, I liked it like chill, where we could play the video games and sit on the couch.
I mean,
and
we
be on our
still
phones.
do that, but it's like there's a time and a place. It's like, okay, let's do this after work, or let's do this on lunch break, or let's get together tonight at 6:00 or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it still can be that, but also like, hey, we have shit to do. Well, anyway, that happened, and then the whole like economy and COVID and all this other stuff, and then you're like, cool, well, all of the orders that we had that were helping us like have this lifestyle and pay these bills and do all these other things, like, just completely went away. And it's like, all right, well, what do we do now? Like, we downsize and we, get rid of people that were kind of on the fence of the new culture and all these other things. And then you kind of get left with a skeleton crew. And even then, like, COVID-ish years were really good for us because we stayed open. Like, we had a bunch of orders from people that, couldn't go to their otis place because they were shut down or closed or whatever it was. So I feel like we had like a rise for like the first 2 years of like, oh my God, we're booked out like 4 or 5 weeks all the time. This is great. And then last year, and kind of half of the year before, it was like just flat, like nothing. It was like we had enough jobs to keep the lights on, keep people paid. But my description to like my staff and everything is like, without getting too deep, is kind of like generally how this business works is like in the busy season, you make an extra amount of money because you're really busy. And then you take that money and you put it in a savings account. And then in the winter slow months, you use that nest egg to keep things going and floating. Well, it's like when you have a year that's flat, there's no extra, there's no nest egg for wintertime.
Yep. I call it my firewood. I use a firewood analogy. I was like, all winter we chop firewood so that we can stay warm until next spring.
Yeah. And it's like, there's no firewood, dude. We're like breaking twigs off the trees outside to like feed the fire currently.
This was our first December, because normally December we'll do like, just in retail, it's usually well over 6 figures in that month. And it's always awesome because we spend a lot to make it, but then that keeps us through the first quarter. Well, this last year was the first one where we had a horrible Christmas season. And then it was just like, oh, well, it's hustle mode. Like no downtime, no projects. We just have to hustle and find more work.
Right.
Yeah. It's just, the economy's so crazy. I know everyone's dealing with it. It's just different levels,
Yeah.
But then you see dudes out there crushing it. Like they're just like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't know what else to do.
I know. Well, it's definitely like specific markets of those kind of people. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of friends that are in the business and they're like, their big market is like bootlegs or something. You know what I mean? Like all these people making these like movie shirts or pop culture things or whatever. And it's like they're slammed because apparently like kids buying shit like that on the internet is huge right now.
Well, it's the vintage, all the vintage nostalgic stuff.
And I mean, I'm guilty. Like I own a fucking screen printing shop and I still buy those shirts from people. You know what I mean? Like I love that stuff. So I fully get it. But there's, people like me or you or whatever that have a different market. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, we'll just wait around and see what happens. But luckily, like for me, you were saying you didn't do any outbound or anything, but like 2 years or more ago, I started to really look into the outbound thing because like, I think when COVID, it was kind of like we got hit hard with, okay, we had our 80-20 of clients, you're like, oh, this 20% gives us 80% of our business and all this other stuff. And then that 20% like dwindled down because it was like, A, chunks of them went out of business. Or B, chunks of them were like marketing budget's the first thing to go. Like we're not going to whatever. So I started looking at that list and I was like I hadn't quite looked at that list in a while. Like I kind of knew who our core customers were. But when I printed out a report and looked at it, I was like, this is pitiful. Like, I don't like this list at all. Like,
we're in that same boat. Yeah.
So I looked at it and I was like, what I really need to do is focus on outbound. And that's when I like hired Kevin and like had him come in here and I started really looking at things and we made a CRM and like we did all these like scripts and all these things. And with a lot of trial and error, a lot of stuff like just didn't pan out with that whole thing. But a good amount of it did. Like we did get a lot of good information. We are hitting outbound quite hard now. And especially like having a VA for that is huge. So we are seeing like right now we are busy. Like we are like seeing new clients every week, which is awesome. Like I haven't had that in a few years where it's like, we're getting in like every week we're getting a few new people and it's like, okay, cool. Like this is their introductory order with us. And it's like every week now, which is sweet, but still it's like, I don't know what's going to happen next week.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, the joy of a screen printing shop, right? It's like we have our peaks and valleys. It's like one week's like, hey, everyone needs their shirts this week. And then like, oh, nothing next week.
And for like 2 weeks straight. Yeah. And I don't want to just be on here and like bitching about stuff, but I mean, we've been doing this long enough where it's like, we had a good 10-year stretch of like summer, like skyrockets. And then it's like Christmas is here. Cool. Seasons. We can have a break.
Yeah.
And then it's like end of February back on the fucking climb. And it's like, that is just not a thing anymore.
Yeah. It's, and also, we're dealing with on demand, Amazon, like fulfillment, people with crickets at home, a million DTF shops popping up in every corner. It's like there's Starbucks now. And we have that all the time. I was just like, it's like, and then we started doing DTF and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're in that. Not printing in a house, but using it. And I'm still like, every time we do it, I'm like, oh, this is hurting my soul. But
it hurts your soul, but then you see money coming in with it as well. And you're like, well, my soul will be fine. Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, it serves it's a tool in the toolbox, it serves a purpose. And, but no, it's been, well, I'm glad you guys are on the climb,
I say that, but tomorrow I might be pulling my hair out and bashing my head against the wall. So.
But that's the fun part of our business. That's what keeps us
Jarrod,
young,
I don't know if this shit is fun anymore.
Yeah, it's and also I think we wrote it right. Like that 10 years you wrote it, and you're like, wow, this is really easy. This is good. Things are good. And then pandemic changed everything. Like it's like, oh, we got to start working harder. We got to deal with different employee issues. We got to we got to talk to the people differently and post differently so that it doesn't get offended.
Well, I mean, that kind of ties into our guest today. I mean, thank you for agreeing to guest host with me.
Yeah.
I don't know how close you and Drue are, or I mean, I knew you guys had a connection to, All Made stuff.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while, but yeah, we've, we're in the same All Made founders group. He's kind of an honorary founder, I guess. He got into the mix a little later, but yeah. So I follow him and see all of his cool stuff and his new brand. And
well, that's the thing too, is like, you work really hard on branding and like staying relevant with all that stuff. And then Drue decided to just up and rebrand. So it's kind of like, hey dude, why'd you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. But I think also we have to reinvent ourselves every like 10 to 15 years. To get that.
I just make a new logo and keep going and be like, hey, we're shiny and new.
We haven't done that. We keep talking about a new logo. I'm hoping if I get a new building, then I was like, cool, perfect time to do a little rebrand. And that's what I keep saying every year. And then it's, 10 years later and I'm like,
I mean, it's still going, it's still working.
Yeah, it still works. It's fine. I mean, we do a bunch of, offshoot stuff, but.
Well, let's let Drue in and we'll get into conversation. So today we have Drue Nickerson of now Riptide in Maine. It used to be 320 Inc. For those who knew. Let's see how Drue's doing. Look at that.
Hey. Wow.
What's up, dude?
You're in the wrong office, man.
Yeah,
There's a 320 behind you. What the fuck?
I know.
You just rep 320 when it works.
It's just my office. I haven't changed the signage yet. So.
Don't ever get rid of it.
He's got the OG office.
Yeah, that's the original.
Wow, Jarrod, what are you doing here?
I got called in for support. They said you're hard to deal with, so I was called in to help assist.
Yeah.
Awesome. Man, I haven't seen you for a minute. How's things going?
Good. Just hustling shirts like all the rest of us.
How'd the new space work out? Been working out good?
Still, we haven't moved yet. We just keep going through and trying to find the right space. As real estate's expensive, I don't have $3 million sitting around.
You don't?
No.
Just go borrow it, right? No issues.
Yeah. It's, we've always got something that works. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity.
Just go down to the bank. They'll just give it to you. No questions asked, right?
Yeah. I would love a $3 million loan right now. That payment
maybe make it 4 or 5 at that point.
That payment would be sick.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So the newish format of the show is, I get somebody on and I think of who's going to be a great, a guest host to do this with me. And I was like, Jarrod would be great for this. You guys kind of know each other and you both are dealing with branding issues all the time. So let's bring him in.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm stoked. That's cool.
Same, stoked to be here.
So Drue, I looked this up earlier. The last time you were on the show was episode 70. That's like 200-ish episodes ago.
It's been a minute.
Wow.
It's been a little while. And I've been watching your journey on socials and whatnot. And then I saw, a little while ago now, you decided to up and rebrand.
Yeah. That was it's a big move. It's not something that I don't think it's been done before. Maybe to this extent. I called Ryan up and I was like, hey, because he knows every shop. And I'm like, has this been done? And he's like, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But I trust myself, and I felt like it was something I needed to do. Probably started about 2 years ago, really, is when I recognized I was like, as we were trying to like move into other markets up and down the East Coast, it's a 3-digit number and it's an area code to everyone else. And that was tough to fight through. And
you think for like recognition, or like, what does 320 mean? What does 320 do? Was that your fight, or?
In terms of the advertising that we were trying to do, people thought we were like from Minnesota or something because it's a Minnesota area code. And it's obviously to us, it's a temperature and, a curing temp, but that's even changed over the years as inks have changed and everything. So it's just like, it just got to this point where I was feeling kind of locked in with the brand. Like I couldn't do much with it. You can't even have like secondary text because the logo is the name and the name is the logo. So then you got a logo and then you got it typed out underneath it and it just looks stupid. And it's, there was a few different fronts that I was just kind of starting to feel frustrated with the brand a little bit. And I just felt like it was time for a change. And as we try to expand the brand and grow, we needed something that was a little bit more easy to remember. That was the other thing, people, it's an arbitrary number to most people, 360, 420, 360, 302, it's just, it was just, people just couldn't get it right and it was fine. I mean, and I get it. It makes sense. So I was like, this is a good opportunity for us. Let's blaze a trail. Let's completely rebrand, whole new name, whole new everything. And off we went. So like I said, a couple of years ago, I kind of recognized that this is the direction that we needed to go in. And then sat my family down because it's obviously, it's been a long time and it's our, it's been an identity, you know what I mean? For the kids.
How long was 320? How many
320
years
was so we're in year 17 right now. 320, probably 15 years, 320.
Yeah.
I rebranded very quickly right after I started. I just
that doesn't really count.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't count. So it's been 320, but it's been pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my question is like you just said is like, you started to reach out more to like, East Coast stuff. Was 320 kind of just like main focus for a long time? And then you hit an area where you were like, I got to fucking get out of here. I got to like move around. I got to find more clients all over the place. And then decided now's a good time to change it due to like SEO issues and, just people remembering the name. Like what was the big push to do it? Because I feel like Jarrod was saying too, like, I've been thinking about redoing the logo for X amount of years. I just never get around to it. Like I feel like we all need a kick in the ass to be like, nope, I'm doing this. This is happening right now. Like what was your kick in the ass to get it done?
Well, the Southern Maine market's not huge. It's not a huge market, it's not like Dallas or Denver and you know what I mean? And so we just grew too big and I needed more market share we just outgrew the area, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had started like, we organically have out of state business, but as I got to a point where it's like, okay, let's make a sales effort. Let's actually like put together a sales strategy and a plan and everything. That plan's out of state. You know what I mean? Like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's more. It's not like I've got, every company in Maine. That's just not the case. There's plenty of business out there, but like, as you kind of like mature in your company and you realize the types of clients that you really like and that you work well with, and you want to go and you want to get more of those, a lot of times you're finding yourself going out of state. And so it's kind of like, that's where it was. So we started doing some advertising and I was just frustrated with the results and felt like our branding and our name just wasn't working for us anymore. So that was it.
Yeah. I've kind of had like, I don't know, I guess an opposite feeling with that. Like I live in a village, like I'm in a small area in upstate New York. And yeah, I can potentially take a lot of New York work, but like realistically, when I think of like shops in the upstate New York area, I can only think of like 2 or 3 that I'm like, okay, I don't want to step on this person's toe. Like Tony in Rochester. I'm like, I don't want to go after Rochester business. Like that's Tony's area. Like we're buddies. I don't want to be like competing on shit. And then I'm like, well, I can kind of deal with this middle chunk because then there's like Gabe at maybe tomorrow, like over in Hudson area. And I'm like, I don't want to mess with his stuff. which sucks to have screen printing friends because then it's like you have to compete with somebody, you know what I mean? You have to fight and argue.
Gabe's the man too.
My whole existence has been out of state, out of country, like all over the place. Like ever since I started, it was just bands, and it was like, well, bands are everywhere. Like I have to hit them up on the internet, and then it turned into companies and this and this. Like I never did local. Like I was never like local focused. Like literally, the lady from our school came in to me today and was like, "Oh, I'd like to use your local." I'm like, "I've fucking been here for like 16 years. Like I'm literally a half a mile from you." Like they just don't really know or care that we're here, because all of our work is just going out and all over the place. Mm-hmm. And also too, like, I think there's a little bit, and this is going to sound snobby to say, but there's like an intimidation factor too of like local businesses are like, "Oh, I didn't even know you would bother like looking at my stuff." Mm. And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'll do anything." They're like, "Well, we see like on Facebook, you're doing stuff for this company or this thing or whatever." Like, I just have a measly like 50 t-shirts or whatever. I was like, "Bring your fucking measly 50 t-shirts here." Like I would like to print those. Like, stop going other places.
We deal with that all the time here, like, because we're a massive retail, you know, like, so people think we're way bigger than what we are because we just invest in our marketing. And, you know, social media looks good, so they think we're this big shop and we're too busy for their orders, or that everything's $30 a shirt. So if like, you know, a school or a business comes in, like that's going to be a minimum $30 per shirt because that's our retail line. And that's been very frustrating over the last few years because we lose so many clients. Then I talk to them and see they use like custom ink. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Guys, we're cheaper than them." And they're like, "Oh, we just figured you're more expensive."
Dude, I went to my daughter's in drama club and she does all these plays and stuff. And it's like, I went to the play and they have shirts laid out like to support the whatever, all custom ink tags. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Guys, my daughter's in the fucking play." Like, why didn't you reach out? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. I'm like, I just think it's one of those things that's like, people who aren't in this industry or know anything about it, it's not top of mind at all. Mm-hmm. They're just like, "I need t-shirts, go online, t-shirts, blah, 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 Google, custom ink comes up, they order it, done, cool, it's off my list, I can go on to the next thing." Like,
it's convenient. Or something. It's Amazon style, right? Where you just go on, click a button, and you get your shirts, and you know, you don't really care about the quality. Those are the people that, you know, don't care, or they think they're going to get okay quality. But yeah, it's the, cause I love those people that bring custom ink quotes, because they're always they're just like high. They're like $5 to $6 more of a shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I'll charge you the same.
I know.
I'll take that money.
Me and Christina a couple of weeks ago were going through like updating my pricing because it's kind of been a while. And with the whole like, you know, economy and everything, I was like, I think I need to revisit like the pricing chart. You know, she was getting super in the weeds and the math and all this other stuff. And one of the things I kept saying, I was like, well, all the other print shops, nobody's really displaying pricing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just compare to all these other print shops. Like, we did the math of like, okay, well, this is what the expenses are. This is what this is what your real number should be. And I'm like, well, that's all well and good. Like, we can do that. But the problem is I might not have as much expenses, but I don't want to have super cheap prices because I have no overhead. Like, there's still that weird area of like, what are you worth? You know what I mean? And I was like, well, I know we could go search right now, like a couple of the big, you know, like the custom inks and all this other stuff, and like do their pricing calculator. I was like, do that. And then I started looking at their pricing and I was like, God damn, like they're charging way more for this stuff and people are buying it. And I was like, I don't want to be that. I want to be less than that because I'm already comfortable where this number is, but like, where should I land? And it's like, all right, cool. I feel good about my pricing now. Which is really good. But again, like Drue was saying, like, I want to be known all over the place. Like, we ship a lot of stuff to Canada. We ship stuff to, you know, we've shipped stuff to the UK and Australia, which is crazy. Like, people will do that and pay for that. But it's like, now I'm looking at, well, what if I'm doing the opposite of Drue, where I'm like, well, I want to start marketing locally. And I just had a talk with my VA the other day, and I was like, hey, what if we just look at Google Maps and we're like, okay, this is Binghamton. And then like go through every business we can find on the maps and add it to like our outbound sheet and then get their contact info and just start hitting them up and doing this and this. And it's like, even my own town, it's like, let's just start hitting up these businesses or make some, I don't know, some media or something that is geared towards them where they don't see us as like unapproachable. Like, I don't know, Drew, what's been your guys' like approach with the sales stuff? Did you just like start doing a bunch of outbound or putting a bunch of money into SEO, or what was your strategy once you rebranded?
So, the strategy has always been it's been pretty organic. I mean, and that's kind of part of it. You get to a point where you're not going to grow 25% organically when you're doing several millions in revenue. You're just not going to grow that much. So you kind of have to say, all right, well, I can just see what comes in and roll with it, or I can be proactive here and get the specific type of clients that we want to work well with, and that type of thing. So anyway, we did some kind of like targeted marketing online, and that did not work well for us. We did it for a year, cost an arm and a leg, and I wasn't happy with the result at all. We got more spam calls than anything else. And we spent a lot of money doing that. And I had kind of
the same story.
Yeah, it sucks. It does. The only reason I jumped in on it is because a buddy of mine, a sign company, neighbor of mine, he was kind of like, we did this and it's been really, really good for us. Like, and I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's like crazy. He's like, I had to hire someone to answer the phone. I thought, oh, holy cow. All right. But that was not our experience at all. And I don't think they use it anymore either. I think he might've been a little, over exuberant, I think.
Well, perhaps. I think he needed somebody to answer the phone, but all the calls were shit calls.
Mm-hmm, probably. Yeah.
So you do the $3.20 one color shirts.
Yeah, right.
Get those ads out there. We've
had a couple salespeople dedicated over the last few years. First one I had was great. Like, he was excellent the first year, and the second year, just not some things we had to part ways. And then I had another person had a little bit different approach. No results really. And that was more maintaining spreadsheets for outbound type stuff and trying to reach out via whatever it was, whether it was LinkedIn or email or anything like that. And I actually you
had that person as an in-house person.
In-house. These are both in-house people. And then I just hired her title is director of sales and marketing, and she is coming out of a brand that she did this very successfully for a long time. So I have high hopes, but that's kind of the strategy, is to have that person under my roof. That's their whole focus. And I still jump in. Like, there are places that I reach out to, and there's business that I bring in just from relationships that I have. And then, they introduce me to somebody. And so that continues to happen as well. We still, we're picking up a decent amount of, we're picking up more new clients this year than we have in the last couple of years. So, and that's a new trend. I was just
telling Jarrod that too. Same thing for us. I feel like we have like a few a week now, where it's
I mean, to the point where my finance manager, she'll start listing out when she's doing like kind of sales updates. She'll list out like, in this many new customers, new customers. And that's been massively upticked this year, I've noticed.
Well, what they don't tell you is this is how many you've lost for the last couple of years.
We're pretty good at retaining them. I think we do a decent job at
I'm not saying like you losing them because you were the shitty service. I'm saying just companies leaving altogether, or like closing the doors, or the whatever
connection changed to someone new and they didn't pass on the contact of the printer.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, again, like I was telling Jarrod a couple of years ago, we started doing all this outbound stuff. And then one of the things you automatically think of is, like, especially nowadays, is like, oh, well, I got to update my website. I got to do this SEO thing. I got to, get all the keywords and all the doodads and whatever you got to do. And it's like, I hired a guy to do it. And he was a great guy, like, super smart, knew what he was doing, made this this quiz for our outbound funnel thing with SEO and all this, and it worked really well. And I say it worked really well, but like what we found out is I was dumping hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but like hundreds of dollars, like $500 a week or whatever it was into this thing. And I found that like every single form I got, and I was getting a couple forms a day of like, inquiries or whatever, but every single one of them, in the middle of it, it would say quantity desired or whatever. And it was like minimum this number, 50 to 99, 100 to 200, 1,000, whatever. Every single one of them was like minimum. It was like every order was, what's your minimum? What's your minimum? And then you scroll down a little further and it would be like, oh, we want to start a clothing brand. And it would just be like two dudes, a picture of them like holding guns or something. It's like, God damn, dude, like every single order. And I'm like, these are the orders that we would get without spending money. Yeah. And be like, yeah, well, actually, we know this guy in Rochester. He does a really good job. Like, you should go there.
That's the issue with the retail, the walk-in for us. We get people every day that are just like, starting a clothing brand, or I need one shirt or two shirts, because they can physically walk in. There's a counter. They can see the press. So they just think that we're like the mall, where we can just do one-off shirts.
Like a kiosk.
Oh, man, it's bizarre. You get some interesting conversations, but everyone wants a clothing brand.
Yeah. Well, our thing is that we had talks a while ago here where it was like, okay, we have this new method. We call it red flag customers, basically, where if they ask certain questions or if they start getting snippy or like have an attitude, or their whole goal is to just like hunt us on pricing and be like, well, what's this? Can you do this price? It's like instantly we call them red flag customers, and we basically like either price them out or send them somewhere else or tell them we can't do it or just say no or whatever altogether. And it was like, I was spending all this money on all this SEO stuff and ads and Google ads and all this other stuff. And I was finding like, I'm not getting even remotely close to a return on what I'm spending here. So I just shut it off. I told the guy, I was like, hey, you're great. Like you did what you were supposed to do. I just feel like for us, it was just giving us like the riffraff stuff that we don't want.
Yeah. And that's why I want to do this with, I want this person because I can give them the industries. I can give them specific names of companies that I want to work with, and I can sick this person on them, and they can then determine the best way to get each individual one, whether it's through whatever method, whether it's LinkedIn or if it's trying to get an in-person meeting or something like that. That's going to be important. And then this person's role will also, they'll be responsible for creating a marketing strategy for us. So there'll be a social media strategy and a marketing strategy, which, I mean, I think it's, everybody posts on social media every once in a while, but that's not a strategy. Something more specific, really trying to think about it. So I'm excited to see how this goes, So, I mean, this will be the third kind of like full-time person I brought in to do this role. But I think by far this person is the most professionally qualified. I think we all at some point in the journey have brought someone into a position just because like the position was there and the person was there and like, oh yeah, we think they'll do a good job. Like this is someone this is their profession. They do this. They've done it successfully. They've got a proven track record. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I just found that the money I was spending on all these ads and stuff, I was like, well, I would rather take that money and like make curated boxes and send them to specifically targeted people 100%. That we want to send stuff to. Like, oh, we want to go after, Burn Dairy or something, which is a massive company up here. And it's like, oh, well, let's send a like a box to them, or let's take the money and like actually make some merch for them with their stuff on it. Like take the time, whatever, and send it to them. And it's like, cool. I would rather spend a couple $100s on that than just light it on fire at the end of the week and get a couple clothing lines that we ultimately have to refund. It's just like, it's not worth it. But what I found, especially with not wanting to hire, I mean, for me personally, like not wanting to hire another person here and then having the payroll and the insurance and all these other things, was I had a VA that was doing social media stuff for me. And then I was like, hey, would you want to take on more stuff for more pay, whatever? And then we came up with like the CRM for outbound. And then I kind of taught him on that, and it's been awesome. I'm like, okay, you're doing social media and outbound reach. And then we found our number one outbound return was Instagram DMs. So we were like, it worked out well for him because he was already doing that. And I was like, all right, well, now I want you to hit up X amount of people per week through DM, but then find their email and then maybe find them, like you said, on LinkedIn, and then kind of have your 7 touch points or whatever of outreach. And it's been awesome. Like that's, I think, our number one contributor to having these new clients every week is from that outreach. But
yeah,
I wanted to ask you, Jarrod, what are you doing to try? I know you're just making cool designs, but like, what is your focus to get new people that aren't just your regular locals?
Yeah. So this year's actually been our first, more aggressive, like, let's actually try to get sales. Cause we've been similar to like, we've been very organic. We're just like, hey, everyone knows about us. We go to events, people know the name. So this year we've been trying a few different things. So one, we've picked companies that we want to work with. Some we will design something custom, print the shirts and send them a kit. Just being like, hey, I'd love to work with you. Here's the quality that we do, little thank you note, or, get back to us. The other one is we've been making like a 4-page PDF with about us and some style. We'll do 4 mock-ups.
It's just photos of you.
Yeah, just me like holding pepper and, sometimes a shirt, sometimes not.
Right.
And
that usually wins them over.
Yeah, depends on the client. So we put this like little PDF together, and it's like a cold email, but we'll pre-make like 4 designs that we're like, oh, this would look cool for your company. Like, this is how we envision your company on a t-shirt. And we actually did pretty well. We've probably sent out, I would say, 8 or 9 this year, and we've landed about 4 or 5 of them.
Nice.
Because really, like, that's the thing, right? Like, as we look at businesses, they want merch, they want cool merch, but they usually don't know how to get it. They either maybe have a Canva design, or they maybe have an actual style guide, but most of the time they don't think about merch. They just want to put a left chest on it and a back, and that's our company stuff. And where we're more like retail driven, we're like, well, we can make your business look cool and not just like a corporate shirt. Mm-hmm. So we're pre-designing it for them and kind of taking that guesswork out and like, hey, this is already done. All you have to do is place an order. And we did pretty well. So we kind of pulled back a little bit as the kind of summer season hit. And then, we picked a few that were totally out of our area. So first we started locally just because of name recognition. And then we started going out, but then it's so hard. I've been noticing, like, for example, Wisconsin likes to support Wisconsin, so it's like, if you're in Illinois, they don't want to really support you because you're not in their area. So that goes to, a lot of our states, right? Is people want to support local. So it's tricky to get into some of these industries or towns or cities where they don't know who you are. Cause they're like, well, I got Bob down the street that prints for me. He uses clip art, but he prints for us. And those are the hard ones to get into. So we've been trying to crack that nut. But yeah, they've been working pretty well. And then LinkedIn's kind of our new one that we're going to try to start hustling. We are doing not a rebrand, because I do have a question for Drew about his rebrand, but because we kind of did the same. We went from Pirate Ninja to Rockford Art Deli. But
again, that doesn't count. It was too early.
It doesn't count. It was for sure too early. And it was more of a convenience than a need. Mm-hmm. I lost my train of thought too. So I'll go back to the question
I keep doing that to people. Yeah. I need to stop.
My ADHD, man, the squirrel. Another question, Drew, so like when you did your rebrand, like what was the biggest bottleneck you saw of kind of going from the name change, getting customers used to it, remembering to change your name on all the different platforms and auto messages and all that? Did you find, like, was there a big bottleneck in some area that you didn't know that was going to happen?
The changeover from a customer standpoint has been really easy. It's gone actually very, very well. It's been very well received. Everybody really likes it. We have not lost any customers. We've gained customers. Just because when you do change it, you got to message it louder and more frequently, and as a result, people learn about you that didn't even know about you when you were your old name. So I think that's probably why we're picking up some of the new clients that we are. Some of the stuff that was just kind of a pain was Well, first off, deciding, do we just fully legally change the name, or do we just do a DBA initially? And my attorney said, just do a DBA to start. So, and that's going to allow you guys time to get the name on all of the accounts changed. Just if someone writes you a check and they accidentally put 320 Inc., you're going to be able to cash it just fine. No matter what they write. So, and that made a lot of sense. So we're going to go the full year, and then we'll eventually just change it over completely. Other than that, really, just kind of like changing over everybody's emails, making sure that websites forward, making sure that the social media stuff is a smooth kind of transition over. All that kind of stuff it was just kind of like, it's like every day you remember there's something pops up where you're like, oh crap, I forgot to change it there, or oh, we haven't done this yet, or that kind of stuff. But it was nothing. I wouldn't call any of it a bottleneck. I'd call it just like it's just a process, and it takes a little bit of time. And if you list it all out real well and let the customers know, most of them, if they need something new from you, they'll reach out. If they need a new W-9 or if they need whatever it is, they'll reach out to us. But
it just reminds me of like getting a new credit card, or someone, you had like identity theft issue and you had to get a new card or something. And then you're like, okay, I know I need to change it with UPS. I need to change it with this, change it with the distributors, whatever. And then all of a sudden you get a thing of like payment didn't go through, and you're like, fuck, forgot to change that one. And it's just like constantly you're getting like, oh, I got to change this. I got to go in.
Kind of weeding it out, it out as it goes. And eventually you get through them all. And I mean, I'd say the harder part of it all happened before the official change, coming up with the name, something that was going to work well, and then making sure that you could get the socials that you need. And we know how important that is. And almost impossible these days. When I thought of Riptide, I was like, there's no way. You know what I mean? There's no way. It's too... No, it's not spelled weird. You know what I mean? These days you got to take the vowels out of stuff just to get the right name, That's so true. Like I thought there's no way, but I was able to get the socials I wanted. I was able to get trademarked, because I strongly recommend don't do anything you can't trademark it. And if you're not trademarked, get trademarked.
When I saw your name change, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, how did he get that name? Like that has to be like a Nerf gun or something. Like that has to be, like this has to be a surfboard, or this has to be some other company already. And it's like, nah, like you just snagged it. No issues.
Snagged in, no issues. Yeah. And I mean, it mostly has to do with it's the industry. So, right. Trademarks go by industry. So yeah, there's other, like there's a soccer team, I think, called the New York Riptide. I think they've relocated recently, but there's stuff like that, but it's not a conflict because of our industry that we're in, but there's no, Riptide print company. So I was able to get that. And that's really important, to have a name that you can trademark. And 320 was trademarked. Because frankly, when you get ready to exit at some point, that's a big piece of the value of your company. If your company name, if your brand isn't trademarked, that's a significant valuation hit when you get ready to exit. So I tell everybody that will listen, like, trademark it. Trademark your brand.
And then you find out you can't, and you're like, fuck.
Do you have it state and federal?
I don't know. I think so.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a really good trademark attorney.
He finds out he's not actually trademarked. His attorney's like, yeah, it's just done. Like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
my trademark attorney told me I'm good to go, so I trust him. So yeah,
there's like a state one, and then there's a federal. There's like two different ones you have to get.
It's definitely not just state. There's no way. It's the search we did was nationwide.
LegalZoom took care of him.
Yeah,
it's done.
Interesting thing with trademarks. So Rockford's Rockford Peaches are from Rockford, right? So the women's baseball league from the 40s. So we print tons of Peaches stuff. Like it's our top 10 selling product every month. And we've been doing it for, 14 years. So someone reached out to us recently because they're, they're not trademarked because they're not an official baseball team anymore. So everyone uses it. If you Google Rockford peaches, it's a lot of our designs ripped off, but it's tons and tons of just, little kids dress up for Halloween and everything. So someone overseas in China is trying to get the trademark for it, and they approved it. And so we're trying to fight it right now to appeal it, because he's trying to trademark Rockford peaches something, City of Rockford peaches, and the two main logos. So, once they trademark it, they're going to go after everyone and try to get them to hustle them some money. Because actually Stay Rad's one too that we've had to deal with. There's a guy that's got Stay Rad trademarked, and for just clothing, and doesn't change it. He's been sitting on the same one. So trademarks are crazy.
It's the same as those people who hunt domains.
Yeah.
They're like, I got to hurry up and come up with it. Like a new thing, like when DTF came out, I feel like everybody and their brother I knew was like, I bought this domain, this domain, this domain, this domain, this domain. And it was like, I think that was the same thing. Was it, what was it? Was it DTF Superstore or whatever had the name, and then they sold it for like $1 million or something to some restaurant because they owned it or wanted to buy it or something. And it's like, this shit's crazy. Well, isn't that what happened with Sierra Mist? Like the soda?
Yeah.
Like they let the trademark lapse or something. And then it was a girl's name, and she fought them. And
won.
But wasn't that the thing, is that she found out that she could buy the trademark, and then they were fucked? Like they were maybe. Like, we can't do anything now.
Yeah, what do they call it? What's it now?
Like they let it lapse. Like they've had the name for forever or something, and then whatever it was lapsed.
Star,
and then she was like, I looked it up, and actually you don't own it, and then bought it, and then they had to change the name to Starry because she legally
was from one stripper name to another.
Yeah, and then they offered her like X millions of dollars for it or whatever, and she said no, just out of spite. And then they were like, whatever, and they changed it to Starry. And she should have took the money first of all. It's like, what are you talking about?
That's some easy cash. I remember what I was going to say. When we were talking about different branding and stuff, so we are starting a new website. It's called Art Deli Supply, but we're trying to separate this. And I think the only people is Jute Mode I know is similar, where they have a retail component and then their screen printing, and it gets really confusing. So we're trying to separate it, but not make a new company, just to have this really cool site that's very SEO driven and just pumps custom printing, locally, just to try to hopefully help some people out. But that's one thing that we're also trying this year for marketing is, push it on LinkedIn and all that, but have just a platform that's just this is only printing. This isn't really cool rad shirts at $30. This is just for custom side of it. We'll see how that goes, but not making it a legal name. I'm not making it a DBA. It's just a cool landing page to pump work into us.
Because then if it works, cool. If it doesn't, then it's no big deal. You can shut it down, and who cares?
Yeah.
I guess one thing I want to get into is you both have mentioned LinkedIn, and I don't know, maybe 8-9 months ago or something, there was a discussion between friends in a chat group about LinkedIn or whatever. And I was like, I think I'm going to hop back in and start seeing if anything comes from this. And then I just started getting a bunch of business from LinkedIn, and I was like, oh my God, LinkedIn is working. And then I started talking to some other people, and they're like, yeah, I'm hopping on LinkedIn now. And now I'm seeing it's just like LinkedIn is getting more popular to me with the business to business transactions.
It's for sure B2B heavy. Yeah. We haven't got a ton of business from it yet, but slowly, we haven't really marketed hard on it yet, but we're easing into it.
Well, the problem I'm having, and I think it, for everybody, Drew and you guys know, is Instagram used to be huge for us with business. We would get a ton of stuff from Instagram because it was we had all these images and everything out there of what people wanted, and we could DM somebody. And back then it was who we were DMing was the owner of that company in most cases. It was okay, cool. Well, now that social media is such a thing and everyone has to do it and whatever, most people were hitting up as some just social media manager, or it's some VA or something where I don't have any say. They're just oh, cool, thanks for reaching out. And it's this got me nowhere. And now I can go on LinkedIn and be who's the head of this company? Right. And it's some guy named Chris doing this pose, and I'm okay, cool. I'm gonna hit up Chris and be hey, who, how can we work together? And hey, I want to send you a curated box and blah 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 blah. And it's way easier to target those people than it is to just try to talk to some random social media teenager for minimum wage. So, I mean, that's working for you, Drue? That's one of your touch points is LinkedIn?
It is, yeah. It worked with the first sales manager I had. He used it a lot and had good results using it, and we've used it to find what we would consider the right people several times, and has worked out pretty well. And I know that, like, this latest hire that I made in our interviewing that we did, she talked a lot about LinkedIn, and it's just, I think specifically for that B2B, when you get to that place where you're looking primarily for B2B and the bigger companies, it's just a logical step.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense, but it's just, you kind of have to weed through all the businessy jargon stuff. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a low life creeper on LinkedIn. I'm like, guys, accept me. I'm cool too.
Yeah.
I have a blazer.
And then they know that you viewed their profile.
Right.
Like, dang.
That's the creepiest part about LinkedIn is it's like, oh, this person looked at your thing.
Yeah. Like, are you guys pushing from your personal LinkedIn or from a business LinkedIn page?
Personal has been the only thing that's worked for me. Like, it's literally me hitting people up. Like, I can't send somebody else to it because they don't really have much of a profile or connections. Like, I could go to Sarah or Leanna in the office and say, hey, I want you to start a LinkedIn, which we tried in the beginning. And they weren't getting much results back because they just didn't have that built up profile or that. I feel like if I personally want to hit up a CEO of some company to work with, they want to see that it's the same the other way. Like, the owner of that company is hitting up them, not some random person. Like, it's more, oh, I want to open this because it's owner to owner.
Yeah, I use personal too.
Interesting.
Like, the Upstate one I have on there is just literally like does nothing. It's just it's another social where we're taking content from Instagram or something and putting it on there and being like, oh, it was our 16-year anniversary or whatever. And that's pretty much all it is. But it gives me a thing to show on my personal that I have the business page, and it shows the years and the employees and the whatever, that it has a following. But it's more me specifically hitting people up, which is what it is. Like, I hit people up when I can. It's not I'm doing it for 4 hours a day or something. I'll do it when I have some random free time here and there.
Drue, how many years has it been since your new shop build out?
This is 6 or 7.
Okay.
I think it might be 7. This might be my 7th year in this location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys fill it all out? Do you guys feel like you're busting seams?
We're filled out. But
Good.
I'm happy with it. I like it how it is. I don't, it's probably the first time I haven't been really thinking about constant expansion. It's really been what I've been doing from the beginning is I can fit a press there. I can fit this there. I can do this. We're massively expanding our embroidery right now. And that's the last kind of thing that we'll build out. And then essentially kind of like built the bucket, right? So you built a big bucket, and then, we probably we probably could double revenue where we are with the equipment we have, almost double or almost double with the equipment we have, the space we have, everything we have right now, just by adding some staff to support it. Because I've always kind of want to make sure I have plenty of production margin. I want to have more than I need, so that when we do get that really big order or something, boom, I can turn on a couple presses that maybe don't run 24/7, but we can get them cranking and get, yeah. So yeah, we've already added how many? Probably like 16 or 17 heads of embroidery. This year, I'll probably add another 6 this year. And then next year, I'll probably add another 20 heads. So, the goal is to be around 45 heads of embroidery by the end of next year.
Nice.
Do you think embroidery had like a huge uptick in the last couple of years? Because I feel like a lot of people I talk to, they are doubling down on embroidery.
Yeah, embroidery for us, it's just has been nonstop for the past several years. I'd say the past 4 or 5 years, nonstop, no slow season anymore. To the point where we're outsourcing, we're nonstop, and we're outsourcing to 2 different shops to keep up with what. That's why I'm bringing it. I just need to bring it all in house again. We had a 4-head that kind of just expired. We just ran it right into the ground, and we just hauled that one off, and so then we just started kind of replacing them, and it's like, all right, we'll buy another 6-head, and then we'll buy an 8-head too, and we'll get a single head so that we can do sales samples and stuff like that without interrupting production, and then bring in another 6-head, and that's this year's upgrade, and then next year. But yeah, so I think with B2B a lot too, that embroidery piece is big. And so, I've always been very print focused and print driven. So it's been like selling embroidery to my print customers. But I think that there's also a pretty big strategy in bringing in embroidery customers and selling printing to my embroidery customers, because a lot of the bigger clients are looking for that embroidery. And, if you've got a lot of heads, you can get a lot of stuff done. So the people who have those big orders.
Our problem with that is just like, I've always been print focused, and I don't have embroidery in house. I send it out, which this year is the year where we were thinking about bringing it in house because our situation changed. My situation was I had it across the street. Like, I literally had a shop across the street that did nothing but embroidery. We did screen printing. So it was like real easy to just farm it to her, grab it, bring it back to next door. But she retired and is gone now. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'd like to bring it in house. I tried to buy her out. It just didn't really work out. But I don't know. My thought with the whole thing is we never offer it. It's not like on the website or anything. We just always get those customers that are like, hey, I need 500 shirts, but I also want 10 polos and 200 hats with patches sewn on or something. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, we'll get it. We'll do it. We'll send it out. But I always wonder, I'm like, if we turn the switch on for this, like if we offered it and we promoted it on the website, like how much embroidery would we get? And everyone I talk to is like, dude, my embroidery department like carries my shop. Like the margins are so good and this, you should definitely do embroidery. And, I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know jack shit about embroidery. Like,
you don't need to.
I guess I need to start learning.
I mean, I don't know a lot about embroidery. Put it this, I know more than most people because of what I do. But I don't run those machines. I hire people to run the machines. Those are not machines. Now, I have a whole bunch of brand new, very expensive equipment that's coming in. I am going to learn how to run the brand new stuff, so I know. But
doesn't that make you feel as an owner like shitty when you buy like a $200,000 machine or something and you're like, I have no idea how to like turn this on?
No, it doesn't. I don't know why. it doesn't.
Does me.
It does me. Yeah, it does me also.
It kills me. Like the laser. Like I bought that a couple years ago and it's been in there and I haven't used it once. Like, I mean, I'm involved and like no, it gets used every day.
Yeah. See, that's saying that if it wasn't getting used, I would feel horrible. But I mean, it's running like crazy. I got amazing staff that knows how to, knows the machines inside and out. I look at it like that allows me to do stuff that only I can do. I mean, why am I out trying to double up learning like on what these guys already know how to do? And at the end of the day too, it's one of those things where if I needed to get out there and get on those machines, I mean, give me 30 minutes on YouTube and I'll figure it out. It's all right there. I've seen him do it. Like, I can.
Don't say that around your employees. They will stab you in the face. Like, oh, Drue says he can do this in 10 minutes.
No, not to the efficiency that they do it. There's no way. But I can get him running. I can get him running, and it's.
Well, my thing is like, Christina was asking me when she was here this weekend or whatever. She's like, "Oh, do you want to teach me how to screen print? Like, go through the whole process?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know how to fucking run the laser. Like, I don't know how to burn a screen right now." Like, I was like, Brian has his own templates in the art room to send it to it. And then getting in there, I'm sure I could turn it on and, open the folder and this. But I was like, I don't want to test that out. Like, I don't want to hit a button I'm not supposed to hit. And it's just like, I was here when it was set up. I know a lot about it. I know what we had to do with emulsions. I know what we had to do with everything. But as far as daily use running it, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what happened with the auto for us, because I bought the auto, the Rockfit, and then hired someone to run it because I was like, I don't know, I've been manually printing for forever. Like, I don't know how to run this, but we need it. And hired someone, and they ran it for a year, and then they trained someone else to run it for another year. And I kind of knew how to use it, but not enough to like troubleshoot a lot. You know, I could still, I could apply manual printing concepts to it and figure it out. And then once we downsized and it was just me again, I was like YouTubing like crazy. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to run this thing, watching all the videos. And there's not a ton of videos out there, but it, it's, we can do it, as owners, we figure it out, right? Like, we're like, well, I got this expensive piece of equipment here. I'm going to figure out how to use it.
Well, it's like Drue said, though, like I'll learn what the equipment is, or like any of these presses or anything. Like I'll learn when they're here and they're training us and going through the whole thing. But it's like, that's not my role in this company. Like my role is to get it here, hand it off to somebody else. And then they run it every day, day in and day out, and they can do it with a blindfold on. And I'm like, cool. Well, I've been in my office for the last 3 years. Like I don't know. And then I go out and like pretend like I'm fucking know what's going on the gauntlet or something. And I go to hit a button and then all the heads shut off. And I'm like, shit, I don't know what I'm doing now. And then it's like, oh, is the sequence with this toggle up, down? Like what's the continue, start, whatever. And I'm just like, God damn it. And
just
then
stay away from the buttons.
Yeah. I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to not do it. I'm going to manually print. I'm going to, do my own thing and run the company the way I'm running it and let the professionals handle the rest.
I pulled the manuals right out of the shop. There's not a single manual on the floor. And I got 6 of them out there. I mean, they're all up in rafters and stuff. They're not allowed on the floor, because as soon as there's a manual on the floor, someone's going to take a job that they shouldn't take. And it's usually me. It's usually me saying like, oh yeah, we can do that. And then, my sales staff from the house, they're looking at me like, and I'm just like, oh no, we'll throw it on the manual. Like, no. Yeah. No manuals allowed.
The only manual we have are our live printing setups. So I love doing the live printing stuff. So like I will do that all the time. But we got rid of there was a couple of years ago where we had a Sidewinder manual. Like we had the 2 autos and Sidewinder. And then I was like, I needed to spend money for tax reasons or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Like it'd be cool to put another auto here. And I was like, what auto can I get that will fit here? And it was like, oh, a 6.8 Sportsman is literally 1.5 feet wider than a Sidewinder. And I was like, I'm just going to buy an auto and a dryer and put it right here and get this fucking manual out of here. The only thing the manual was ever good for was like holding shit. You're like, oh, someone set a Gatorade on it and like went and did something else. No one ever prints on it. It just collects dust. And like Drue said, it's like something will come along where you're like, oh, someone wants hood prints or like this and this. I was like, oh, we'll just do it on the manual. And then everyone looks at it and like, how do I do this on the auto? Because I don't want to touch that manual.
Yeah, once you pull Plasticell through auto versus manual, you're like, auto's the way to go.
I will set 3 shirts up on the gauntlet. Yeah. Like, let's do that instead.
It's I've been semi full time back on the production floor again, just because of some logistics here. And I will say though, it's been very refreshing. So 1, I've been getting really good at printing on the auto, but 2, I've changed so many procedures in the shop. We start printing. I'm like, we need to bump up our minimum. Like 24 shirts. This is so much work. Like this is stupid. We're like losing money on it. Or like ink processes, because we used to be pretty much 100% water base. And then now we're almost all Plasticell again. Because I'm just like, this is just so much easier to train. It's easier to
do your customers actually care?
They don't care. They don't. Right. No one ever asked for it. Like we will still print HSA and discharge occasionally, but no one's coming in asking for it. We were just printing what we wanted, And then we're like, well, why? It's so hard to train printing water base and discharge. And then we just kept getting so many color issues with trying to color match discharge because of like over dyeing and just the quality of shirts lately. So it was just like, this is silly. We're wasting so much ink, because I never knew. They were just fixing it. They were just, my team before was just figuring it out. They would, Frankenstein.
What they were doing was resenting you from the other room.
Yes. But they were like Frankensteining inks, adding tons of different additives in, different pigments, but no one was writing down recipes. So then we'd go to reprint and we're like, hey, that doesn't match the last one. And it was just so hard. So I was like, we just got to go to Plastel again. And it's kind of a bummer because it's so much easier to clean up water base, but overall shop vibe is so much better because the colors match right away. Opacity is better. Nothing's drying in the screen. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes just to get a screen printing correctly with HSA, where you can have your 100 shirts printed with Plastel. It was definitely some good feedback of actually being on press again to fix a lot of the issues that you didn't know about because your staff didn't tell you about them. They just fixed it, which is cool. It's great having that team that just fixes stuff, but it's not repeatable. And then it became bottlenecks down the road.
I feel like it goes both ways though too, is like, I love that the shop handles itself while I'm gone. Like, this shop runs itself. Like, I don't need to be here. If anything, I am the issue being here. You know what I mean? Like, I'll walk out. Yeah. I'll walk out in the shop and I'll say this, or can we do this? And everyone's like, Jesus Christ, like, can you just not be here? What's funny now, what also hurts my soul to a degree is like, even today, like, I showed up, I was in my chair at my office, and I heard a job that was mine. Like, cause what happens is if you sell the job, like, the job gets approved through you. And like, now that I'm getting back into doing sales, like, there's jobs on the schedule that are mine. Well, Zach came in to approve something, and he walked right to Sarah, like, walked right by my office. And Sarah was like, that's Dylan's. And he's like, he's here. And I'm like, just sitting here. I'm like, yes, fuck God, I'm here. But I am gone a lot. Like, I do travel all the time. Like, I'm gone all next week, and like, they're just used to it now, where like, I'm just not here. Which is good. Like, I actually saw a thing the other day that was like, success is judged on, like, do you have like Drew's saying, like, I have the amount of equipment I have the amount of employees I want. Like, now I'm just trying to get stuff in, but also the life I want isn't like necessarily that I have to grind every day. It's that I can step away for a week or two or whatever I want to do. And I feel freedom. Success is that my shop runs itself. And like,
it's freedom. It's freedom, right?
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
And you just went like fucking what, like sailing for a while? You were gone?
Yeah. We chartered a catamaran in the Bahamas, and we were down there for 8 days. And then I got home, and my buddy, who he owns a charter company, he WhatsApped me, and he was like, "Hey, mate," he's from Australia. He's like, "You still down here?" Because he was in the Abacos and I was in the Exumas, and I had just gotten home, and I was like, "No, why?" And he's like, I got to deliver this sailboat up to Annapolis, which is like a 900-mile offshore sail. And I was like, I'll be back tomorrow. So I flew back down. And unfortunately, the weather window got real tricky. It's a nasty front come across Florida. So, I ended up just hanging out with them in the Abacos for, I think it was 4 or 5 days, and then finally I had to fly back before. Sadly, I couldn't make the trip with them, but next time I will. But still, having that freedom to go down and just be like, yeah, we'll hang out down here and sail around on this boat. And it was.
How much did the shop contact you during that period of time?
None.
Yeah.
None. No. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't check in. I mean, it's Starlink. We had Starlink on the boats, but I don't think the first 8 days, I don't think I even took my computer out. I don't think I did one time. Maybe once. The second time, because I kind of wasn't supposed to be away, but I still was, like, I would log in each day and just take a peek. And if I saw anything, all I would do is forward the emails to the team if there was something that needed to be done. But right now, I'm at a really good point. Probably have some of the best staff I've ever had. I have a real legitimate layer of management, like not just like my buddy running this or that. It's like I have real managers managing this place. I have a administrative operations manager who handles all the front end as well as the warehouse. So like receiving, fulfillment, and then all the front end sales, everything like that. And then I have, sales. So my reps. So she's over the reps up front. The the sales director will be her own. She'll report to me when she starts. She, like I said, I just hired her, but I also just hired, and she's not just probably 4 or 5 months. I've had her a really, really great production manager. So I have a production operations manager that relocated over from south of Chicago, and she's killing it. I mean, she's excellent. I mean, she has got. I had a good team to start with, but she was able to come in. Number one, get along with my current staff, get along with my team. Not culture shock anybody, but really, like, I've seen my whole team tighten up. I mean, no more 5 minutes late coming in. Like, they're on it, and she's on them in a reasonable way. The production schedule is getting better and better every day. Tightening up all those procedures. So between her and my administrative operations manager, it's really under control.
Right.
They'll call me if they need me, but they've got it under control. And I've given them enough freedom to do their job. Like, I don't micromanage them. I hired them to do a job. They know what I expect of them. And they're doing a great job. So
That's awesome.
Until they give me a reason to worry about them, I'm not.
You're not gonna, and you're not, you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's something that, like, I had a discussion with Brian and Bill not that long ago. It's like, I do travel a lot, and I am gone, and I kind of have a schedule now where I'm gone quite frequently, even to the point where I'm just like, I need to actually look at, like, what my life is and, like, where I'm going to go and what's going on. But anyway, I said something to them of, like, I've noticed in my last, like, couple long trips that you guys don't reach out at all. Like, at first it was nice feeling to be like, okay, like, nobody's reaching out, like, the company's got it, like, they're good, whatever. But then it got, like, eerily weird where I was like, nobody's reaching, like, they're not even like texting me, they're not pinging me, they're not nothing. And then I would get back and I'd be like, oh, well, this happened, it got handled, like, whatever. And I said something to them and I was like, guys, like, you don't, like, my instinct was that they were afraid to reach out to me. I was like, they know I'm gone. They don't want to bother me with something, whatever. But when I brought it to them, they were like, no, like, honestly, dude, like, we take pride in the fact that we don't have to reach out to you. Like, they were like, literally, like, I feel fulfillment in my job knowing I can fucking handle this and I don't have to call you to, like, figure it out for me. And that made me be like, oh man, like, this rules. Like, I'm really proud now. Like, at first I thought it was a thing where they were like, oh, I feel like a failure if I reach out to you, but really it's they're prideful that they don't need to, like, they can handle any situation that happens. And that just makes me be like, cool. I have, like you said, like, I have the right people in the right positions, and they are, strong management types that can take care of it. But, I guess this is a question for both of you is, like, do you feel like, because we've all been doing this a long time, do you feel like the company culture is kind of where you want it to be now, or do you feel like it's evolved just like your entire time? Because I was telling Jarrod before we got on, like, my first 10 years was like, hey, we're a bunch of punk kids that come to, air quotes, work every day, and we just fuck around and we print t-shirts and we all get paid and whatever. And now I feel like I'm in the second phase of my business owning thing where it's got a lot more structure. It's got a lot of management. It's got a lot of, 401ks and insurance and this and this. But I'm also kind of stoked on how it is now. Like, I feel like I grew up a little bit, but I'm okay with it. Do you feel like that's kind of what's happened with 320 turning into Riptide? Now you're like, okay, I'm in phase 2 of my career of the shop is running itself and I can go sailing for a month and I'm totally cool with that culture.
Yeah. I think that we probably closer to after we moved into this location is when things started to kind of evolve. Like, because this was when we first moved into this location. We were in 5,000 square feet in a different industrial park, and then we moved in here. It was 10,000 square feet, which is a pretty big jump up. We doubled physically in size, and then in 2020, we added another like 6,000 or 7,000 square foot. We knocked a wall down and took over the space. So we're in like 17,000 square foot now. So I think that when that happened is when things started to feel more like a second phase for me. And I'm not sure if the Riptide rebrand is like a marker for a third phase, or if is it just another part of the story. I'm not real sure, but I definitely feel what you feel in terms of like there's way more to do in terms of 401ks and payrolls and workers' comps and Form 5500s and I-9s and all of the crap that that does end up on our plate that we can't delegate.
What sucks is we know who we are as human beings, and that we even know what those numbers are.
Yes.
Hurts my soul.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like
so definitely like that has been a big thing that takes up a lot of my time. And I mean, that's not fun stuff. There's nothing cool about any of those numbers. There's nothing cool about it, but it's all, stuff that we're forced to do from the states we live in and the country we live in and whatever kind of rules that are set up, So it definitely feels like another phase to have to be so involved with that. And I don't know that I'll ever have an HR person, but if I do, I'll probably welcome that.
For sure.
To get all that off my plate, because that's not fun at all.
No, it's not.
I like to think about marketing. I like to think about like cool things that we can do and cool content that we could create, or even just cool stuff we could do like as a team. We're shutting down early and barbecuing, or we do a company sail every year. We charter a giant sailboat, and it's like 100-year-old schooner, and we sail around Casco Bay every fall, and it's like awesome. Everybody comes, they bring a +1, and we have an awesome time. And I would love to think more about like what else could we do. We should add another cool thing that we do every single year as like a cool company. I want to think about those things.
I agree. Yeah,
not this other stuff.
I've just come to, and again, like people are going to criticize me for this too, but I just came to terms with the fact that it's not me. It's not meant for me. There's things that I've seen about, I really, really try to stay away from like the motivational speaker type people, but, I've come to terms with that, they say that if you're not a leader or you're not that person to sit them down and hire, fire, or whatever, just get the fuck out of the way. And I fully believe that. I'm like, hey, I've just come to terms with it. It's not my strong suit at all. Like, I'm the guy where an employee comes in, sits on the couch and starts crying about how their car doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, I will buy you a new car. Like, let's figure this out. Or like, I can't pay my mortgage. And it's like, okay, well, how do we, like, I'll give you the money tomorrow. Like, how I can't be that guy. Like, I need to step back and just like do the things that I'm good at. So I had a talk with management here, and I was like, how much more do I add to your paychecks to get you guys to just do hiring, firing, and HR issues or whatever? And then that's what we agreed on. And I'm like, cool. Well, now, I don't do any of that. I do, like Drue said, like I do the bigger scale marketing things. I do like, okay, what's the next thing that we're going to get into? Okay. Are we going to deal with fulfillment, or what are these live print events that we want to do? Like, those are my focuses. Or again, like I'm the guy who goes to Sam's Club and buys the snacks, or like figures out what we're going to grill next week or whatever. Like 100% happy in that role. Like, I will do this. You guys just run the day-to-day company. You'll do whatever. Like I want my role to be, where does the company go going forward? You guys do what maintains the thing that we've already built and just keeps it going and keeps everything on track.
Yeah.
And
we got to captain it and figure out where are we strong? Where are we weak? How do we get stronger where we're weak? And where are we headed?
Right.
What are we switching industries out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just captaining the ship, figuring out what's the next step for us. What does the future hold? What are the goals? Making sure you have goals,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if the three of us don't have a vision or a goal for our companies, then we're just bouncing around. We're just, you know what I mean? Like a ship without a rudder. You gotta know, gotta go, gotta have a goal so that you can, you know where you're headed. And so choose your goal and work backwards from it. And for us, we keep, all of us have been doing this a while. And I'm sure that there's been many a goal that we've set that we've achieved, and we've set a new goal. And so when you do that, you got to set that next goal. And maybe you're achieving it too slow and you got to figure out how to speed it up, or maybe you're achieving it too fast and maybe you got to think bigger. But I mean, that's what I think our job is to make sure that
I think my goal for the last 6 months or a year has been to just stop getting kicked in the nuts. I feel like the fucking economy and the world and everything right now is like, I just trying to figure out how to build a better jock strap and nut guard. Like, stop,
chastity belt.
Stop, dude. Like, leave me alone for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
but even just reacting to that kind of stuff too. I mean, that's
not a good goal. It's not what I want. Jarrod, go ahead. Culture.
Yeah. So culturally, like, I envy you guys just as print shops. So the retail, having 2 shops in one has been my Achilles heel forever, because you're merging 2 teams together. So you can't really close to have like a company outing because the retail's open, and you have 2 like emotions, right? You have like retail that are supposed to be bubbly, help people, selling, people come in, talk to them. And then you have like your custom guys that want to listen to death metal and have headphones in and hang out and like, take breaks and do whatever. So that's been like this really hard cultural thing in my store, because I like having the 2 together, because it's good for cross training. It's good for like, as we're printing our retail shirts, the retail team can come over and catch them, hang them, inside tag them, put them in the system and inventory them. So it's been really challenging to find a cohesive culture that can work together.
Do they always butt heads, like behind the scenes?
No, I'm really lucky right now. We're kind of in the regrowth area right now. So we're kind of finding new people. And I'll echo on I'm not a good leader. That's not my strong suit. So I've been trying to find that role of, I'm the same one where it's like, hey, my car's broke. I'm like, well, let's figure out how to fix it. Right. And I need to have that emotional disconnect and have a layer of that between me and the staff. So it's been, I wouldn't say butt heads. It's just the music's always been the butt heads part.
Where headphones.
But it's tricky
because most shops don't want that either.
Yeah. Like I go back and forth on it, because I have to like hear everything. So when I'm printing, I have to hear the door, because I also will greet people. Because like right when they walk in the door, if I'm on the press, they will make eye contact with me. Like there's just like a straight shot. And so if no one's at the like front, if they're in the back getting hangers or something like that, I'll say hello to them and they just like make eye contact with me while I'm printing. So it's just really bizarre. Like my shop's so bizarre. I love it, but it's just so bizarre because you're like, well, people are watching you print all day. So you're like talking, they'll come over and stand and like ask you questions, and it's super fun. It's, the deli part, like you get to see the t-shirt being made, but it's the culture thing has been such a hard roller coaster to find the cohesive styles where everyone can like be one. And so sometimes, it's like, oh, I'll separate it, put it in a warehouse, and then have my retail be separate. But then I'm like a little extra logistics of, well, I need a van now, and then I have to have a management team in the print shop, and I have to have a management team in the retail, and then I'm going back and forth to 2 places. So I like the idea of one place, but it's so tricky to like get everyone on the same page and be like on the same team kind of sort of thing.
I feel like most shops that I know that do the retail, it's like a totally separate thing. It's like a different location. It's, we have different staff that come and do the retail thing of like, oh, I work nights and this. And then the print shop is a totally different thing. So I don't even know like how you'd manage that. Plus I feel like the production staff would resent the retail staff people that just get to like talk to people and greet and do this, and they're like over there sweating on press, like printing shirts and like. So
it's weird. Everyone on the retail side always wants to go to the print side, because then they don't have to talk to customers. there's like, oh, it looks more fun over there. You guys are like joking and like, doing stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but when it's like 99 degrees over here, well, we don't have AC in the shop, so it's just hot everywhere. It keeps breaking. It can't keep up with the dryer. So we just don't have AC. It's just what it is. But the print team, like the retail team, always wants to go to the print side. They're like, oh, that looks fun. Can I heat press? Can I like catch shirts? But it's also nice because then they can catch shirts. Yeah, so, they kind of piggyback and help. So it's like there's a lot of pros, but there's a few cons. But there's a lot of pros having this cohesive team, but also culturally it's tricky because the print shop vibe versus like being a retail store.
Well, how are you feeling as an owner, like stepping back into the role now of like you are production, you are customer service, you are this, whereas before you weren't?
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm wearing like a lot of hats, and we just started a second location retail wise, small, but so, and then I'm also stocking. So I stock 6 of our wholesale places. So we'll print it. So it's now I like full circle see it where I'm like, oh, that order just came in. So I got to print it and then I got to go deliver it. Or restock the grocery store that we stock in. And so it's a lot of load to carry, but luckily I do a lot of good mental health things that help me balance. But it's fun to be back into the trenches, but it's not forever, right? Like this is a season for me. And I think we're getting a more cohesive team because I'm actually one-on-one with the staff now. And I get to like talk to them. I get to kind of gauge things, but also I do need a barrier because I'm too nice. And it's exciting, but it can't be forever. Like I can't sustain being every position, especially HR.
I think that's the one thing that I miss the most about like phase 1 with Upstate is not being as involved in certain things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like now if I went out and, say I saw a stack of screens or something, like part of me is like, I want to fucking put shit clothes on and go out and run things through the auto reclaim. And like, I want to coat screen. Like Bill was telling me a little while ago, like, oh, I can't keep up with this and I need someone to coat screens. I was like, dude, I'll do it. Like, I would love to go in there with headphones and just coat screens for half the day. Like, I don't want to get off my desk. Like, let me go do it. Like, I miss printing or pulling shirts off the press or this or that. And it's like now, like, again, they're like, I feel like sometimes they come up to me, they're like, oh, I'll do it. Like, you shouldn't be out here. Like, almost like a failure of like, oh, I should be doing this. Why is the owner out here doing this? And it's like I'm doing this because I fucking want to. Like, I miss being out here. Like, I miss shop jams and, like just hooting and hollering and shooting shit with each other. What I don't like every day is coming into my office and shutting the door and being on my headphones and like doing a bunch of calls to like distributors or to this or to that, or, trying to get new business. And then I open the door and I find out there was a party in the office while I was in here on the phone. And it's like, I'm not as involved. Or like cool jobs will come in. Like some salesperson will have this awesome job. It'll go to press and get printed and whatever. And then I see it posted on social media. I'm like, we made that? And it's like, yeah. Well, I didn't even see it.
I do those all the time where I'll like see a customer on like Instagram and they'll post like new merch and I'll like screenshot it and I'll send it to the rep and I'll be like, dude,
we printed
did
this,
we
right?
do this? And
right.
He's like, yeah, dude. I was like, oh, okay, good.
I do the exact same thing because I'll see something and I'm like, that seems out of the norm. Like, I don't remember that design. And they're like, yeah, we printed it 2 weeks ago or something. And I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's how I was. Cause like I was telling Dylan earlier, I wasn't like fully production for like 5 years, and getting back into it like last August, it was definitely a culture shock for me, but also I've embraced it where I'm like fixing and tweaking and figuring out kind of what rad is again. So it's humbling, but also it's hard to do all the owner stuff, the sales and the growth. And, it's hard to follow that goal pattern where you're like, cool, I have all these big goals and ambitions, but I can't be the operator and the grower and pushing to grow those things. But in my head, I'm always like, it's a season. It's not permanent. It's just a phase right now of like regrowing and rebuilding a little bit. But yeah, it is fun to print stuff for people again. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I printed that. I still got it. Like, that's cool. And then I'm like, oh, that's really hard to print. I don't want to print that.
Well, that's the other part of this new age of our industry, though, too, is there's a lot of new things that have come into play that never existed. Or, we were talking earlier about how for 10 years of our business, I feel like it was like, oh, we do screen printing and this is the method and how we do things. And it was the same season every year, same printing techniques. We screen print or do embroidery or do whatever. And now I feel like it's every other day. There's a new technology coming out. And, last year it was like DTF, this, that, the other thing. And now all I'm seeing in these groups I'm in is like, how do I buy robotic arms to unload my press? And then it's like, oh, now I can use AI for all of my customer service staff. And I have an AI agent now that I talk to on the daily about how to optimize my website and this and this. And it's like, dude, this shit's getting out of hand. Like, how much of this is like, Drew, have you put any of that into play at 320 or any thoughts into that kind of thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm into it more because I'm in a bunch of groups that talk about the new stuff all the time. But like, some of it's like, God, dude, I don't even know. Like, you can basically like train a robot arm now to like unload the press or unload at the end of the dryer, or to even like run a pressure washer. Or like, I saw a video today of Culture Studio training a robot to run a rapid tag. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Like, you're talking about adding staff and adding managers, and I'm looking at like, how do I get a robot army?
Oh yeah,
to fucking run
trust
this place?
me, I'm here for the robots. When they make robots that can do it, yeah, what Optimus or whatever, I'll bring some Optimus in the shop.
Yeah.
When they get to that point, I'm picturing them catching at the end of the dryer, pulling.
Dude, that is a thing right now. Like, you can literally get an arm that sits in the middle of your split belt. Yep. And it picks from both sides and stacks them on both sides and does the whole thing. Like, you don't have to have a human being at the end of the dryer anymore.
I have a buddy, it's like my best friend. He's like a robot engineer or something. I mean, that's what he does. He makes robot arms. Wow. He's been trying to get me to like go all in on some robots here. So we're getting close to just me letting him do it. Like, see here, because I've started sending him videos of probably some of the same stuff that you're looking at. Like, hey, is this possible? Oh yeah, man, we can do that. Oh yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm here for the robots when the tech's there and it's
Dude,
like,
when was the last time you went to the airport? There's like kiosks everywhere now of robot arms making coffee or like making you a salad or like whatever. Like
that.
Like a little barista of like, oh, I want this coffee, and
I've
it
seen
like
the ones
pulls
that
the
make
cup
pizza.
and like makes the that's what I'm saying is like it's just replacing all of these like mundane tasks of like, oh, take a cup, fill this, put this much ingredient in. Listen, this it's the same at the I mean, I'm not trying to knock anybody who's at the end of the dryer, but I'm saying like the task of like taking a step, grabbing a shirt, turning around, putting it on a table. There's
you just have to have someone QCing, kind of making sure that that's
for sure
passes, because that's not something you can trust the robot with. But
even like M&R has I can't remember what the name of it is now. They have that new system now where they have the cameras on the press where you load, you do a test print, and then you lock in like, okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. And then for your entire run, it will monitor it and be like, oh, this is coming out of registration, or, oh, you have a pinhole here. And it'll give you a light or shut the press off and be like, hey, stop, check this. This is happening. And it'll show you on the screen like a circle over like, there's a pinhole, or you're out of registration here.
That's
and
wild.
It's like, well, you got to think, even if you have humans on the press, like we all get into that of like, okay, we're printing 500 shirts and you're talking to your buddy, you're going through the motions, you're pulling shirts, and then you find out 300 shirts in, oh, there was a pinhole for the last 150 shirts. And it's like, fuck, I wasn't looking every shirt being like, oh, there's a pinhole in the top right corner. I never would have noticed. Now there's a robot that literally will flash a yellow light at you and be like, hey, you have a pinhole.
Wild.
And it's like, that's what I'm saying is like it's going to get to the point where there's a person who sets the press up, does whatever, and then you're going to be like, go. And then there's going to be a robot that unloads it, puts it in, and tells the operator, hey, there's an issue, fix it. And then all he's doing is loading shirts and whatever else. And it's like, dude, this is insane. Like,
man, it's the future.
I don't even know if this is related, but I think it's really cool. Is like I saw a Cornette thing where they have now Tony Palmer was doing a demonstration of it at one of the shows where he grabs a shirt off a pile and holds it like you're going to load it, in the seams, and just kind of like pushes forward into these like, grip things. And it basically grabs the shirt, pulls it onto the pallet, like lays it down and flattens it out. And it's like, now they're not even loading the whole pallet. They're just going up to the edge of it, and it grabs it, pulls it, lays it down, and then runs. And it's just like, when is that going to be on a screen printing press where we just have to go click and then it just loads and goes?
That's, I'd have a hard time trusting that.
Yeah. Fully auto.
I'd have a hard time. That's the type of thing that would keep me out of the office and keep me on the floor. Just making sure that I'd have more anxiety about that at least initially. I think it's going to have to get to the point where it's like,
but just knowing this stuff is in early stages, you know what I mean? Like, it goes so fast where it's like, you don't see this now and you're like, oh, in 10 years that'll take off. It's like, no, in 8 months, this will be in production and ready to go.
I think you're right.
But we went from years and years of just like, oh yeah, we pull ink through a screen, to now it's like, oh no, there's all these automations and digital this and this and this. And it's like, as a shop owner too, you look at things differently than if you were a manager or just an employee. Is like, oh, that one kid who calls in sick every 3 days? It's like, God, I would love to rename that robot your name, and just like, he never calls in sick. He works 24 hours. Like,
I love it.
I pay the electric bill and he doesn't complain. Like, I don't know. It's hard to think about. We're talking about goals and whatever. Like, I don't want to necessarily replace all my humans, but I'm just saying that there are tasks where I can add and expand and do this, where I can keep my skeleton crew of, X amount of people and produce more, or even just be efficient and have less headaches or less human error or anything like that.
I think it's all efficiency, right? Like, that's why I got an auto. I was like, well, I can manually pull these, but I want more efficiency. I want like a perfect stroke every time, and the press doesn't get tired. Yeah, it doesn't get tired. It's doing 500 impressions. It doesn't get tired, but I get tired. And then I start strong arming one side, and that's the only reason I got it. It was just for that. It wasn't for speed or being able to print,
replacing a person or anything.
Yeah, it was just efficiency and easier to train someone.
Well, it's like the number one piece of equipment I say in the shop that helps with efficiency and just repeatability is an autocoder for your screens. Like, there's so many shops that I know, there are auto shops that are still like hand coding screens, and I'm like, you can't like properly test DOM with that. Like, you every stencil's slightly different. Like, just having that machine is like, okay, keep the trough 75% of the way full all throughout your coding process, hit a green button, and every screen is exactly the same. Like, that should be number one, in my opinion, is like, get that. And then, every screen is the same. Like, how many issues are you resolving by having consistency in your screens? Like, what we do is literally screen printing.
Right.
Like, without a good screen, it's shit. So
it's most important. Yeah.
Like, that's a no-brainer for me. Is like, let's make the pre-press darkroom stuff the most robotic, most human error gone. Then the rest of the stuff we can troubleshoot, like mixing inks or putting stuff on press or playing with squeegees and pressures and whatever. Let's just get that equation,
So robot theme still. Are you guys using AI at all?
I use it every day.
Yeah.
A little bit, not a ton. I mean, I use it a lot when I'm hiring. Like, write me a job description for this. Whatever. I use that all the time for that. It's scary how good it is.
So good.
You pull it out and you're like, all right, I don't have to change anything. Like, it Googled my own company and was like, oh, like, I know exactly what you do.
And it gets better by the week, the more stuff you put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a really good description. I was like, I sound really good.
Like, you know what the thing is that I use the most is I came up with prompts to put into it before I ask it anything to make it less robotic, less whatever. Like, I literally have a copy and paste where I'm like, don't use the double dash, like, don't use therefore, like, don't, like, talk like a real person. Like, this is how basically train it to talk like dum speak, like I do, of this is how I would say things. So like Drue, like, I use it all the time for emails to like my job is to hit up bigger prospective customers. And it's like, I want to sound smart when I send these emails, and I will write something up myself and I will put it in there and be like, don't use these words or whatever, but like rewrite this to make it sound more professional or whatever. And then it rewrites it. And then I go through a second pass and I tweak it. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is great. Or whatever.
That's what we use it for too. Yeah.
I've used that as well, but I think it's a variance in, it might be in Pages or something on a Mac. I think it's built in. So you can write something and then say, make it more friendly or make it more professional, and it will rewrite it in that way.
Yeah. I had a client that hit me up the other day and was like, hey, I have a customer who wants this. He sent me an example of like a line drawing of their building. I don't know what it was. It was like a VFW hall or something. And they were like, can you make this design? And like a year ago, I would have been like, oh, I'm going to have to hire a freelancer to like make a line drawing of this building and like add in whatever text they wanted. I was like, yeah, let me look. I went, because we have the paid like ChatGPT, whatever. And I took the photo that they wanted to use, dropped it in and said, oh, create me a line drawing, blah, 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 on a transparent background, blah, blah, put the whole thing in and like hit done. And 2 minutes later, it gave me a perfect line drawing of this building. Like that's done, cool. Like literally sent it to the customer and they were like, yeah, cool. That looks great. And I was like, I did this whole thing in like 3 minutes.
Jeez.
Like done. Like it didn't have to go to a freelancer and go back and forth for a week. I didn't have to get charged $300. I just was like, because I mean, at that point, it's not really artistic flair. It's not like I needed a freelancer to like put a spin on this. They literally just had to like outline the building and draw all the windows and doors and brick and everything. Like ChatGPT was like, okay, I could do this for you. And it was done. Crazy. And it's like, I use that shit every day for stupid stuff. Or just even like we had an episode on this with Mark Hop, but it was like using like the vectorizer tools or the upscaling tools. Like now I use it for shirt show. Like Drew, I could be like, hey, give me a photo of you from waist up, including arms. And you will send me a photo that you think is cool where your shoulders are cut off and you're on a boat. And whatever, I will literally take your photo, put it in the upscaler and put it in ChatGPT and be like, give Drew arms. And like, there's so many thumbnail photos that we have on Shirt Show that are like half AI, where it's like, they'll send me a picture and the top half of their hat's cut off. Like the photo is cut there. And I'm like, I add the top of the hat on. Or, you have a design on your shirt that's like, just looks weird and isn't going to go well. And I just like, crop around it and I'm like, make blank shirt, and it gives you just a blank white t-shirt. Like
we got a little pushback. We did the ChatGPT toy thing.
Oh yeah,
the prepackaged toy thing. And it wasn't bad. It was just an interesting group of people that were like saying that we weren't ethical because we were using AI and we were hurting the environment and all these things, when it was like my creative director is the one that did it and had fun with it because it was just like a fun thing to do. And yeah, people were very unhappy about it. Not a lot, it was like our top viewed post, but that was the most one we got like bashed on comments from a small group of people. And it was just like, guys, we're just having fun. Like we're not selling this. We're not
leave us alone.
We're not putting on t-shirts. We're just like a fun print shop. We just want to have a little fun.
Yeah. Can you make this interview so we're all babies?
Oh yeah.
I've had people hit me up with the link to do that. They're like, you should do a shirt show where you're all the baby thing. And I was like,
oh my word.
I could. I would rather have us be like hot dogs sitting here talking to each other, or like, just do something else. But
I would love to be a hot dog.
You'll get in trouble for that because it's not, kosher. It's not
the June sticker of the month is pepper that looks like a hot dog.
Perfect. I don't even know like how honestly the Shirt Show hot dog thing came about, other than Andy used to say what's for dinner and I would always say hot dogs, and then it turned into hot dog whatever. But I get sent probably 50 hot dog memes or something a week and I just save them and I repost them. I love it, dude. Like it's I'm all for the fucking hot dog. So
you guys have a hot dog roller, don't you? Who's got the hot dog roller? The gas station hot dog roller in their break room?
Oh, no, I don't. I've been to shops that have them. Okay. I would love one. We have a hot dog. We have a Coca-Cola hot dog toaster, where you put the 2 hot dogs in and you put the buns in and like pull it down like a toaster and then it comes up like completely done.
Wow.
I do have that. But Drue, you talked about how you're going to get 900 more heads of embroidery this year. What else are you adding, or what else is your goal? You talked about goals, but like, what is your ultimate goal for this year and for the next couple of years with Riptide?
Probably. So as far as embroidery, yeah, I mean, we're going to probably end the year with about 27 heads, and that's pretty much already done. And so then I'd want to add another maybe 20 heads next year. But we'll see. We'll see how 27 heads treats us. I think kind of back to embroidery and in margins, like you talked about a little bit. One of the things I like about embroidery is that I'm assuming you don't do contract work, Dylan?
No, not really.
Yeah, we don't either. It doesn't make any sense for us to do contract work. We have plenty of direct to consumer work or direct to business work. We don't need it. And that's never been the type of shop that we want to be. But with embroidery, if we wanted to take contract work, it's no big deal. It's a totally different scenario, and the margins are way, way better. So if we do have heads that are available, or we have some capacity on the schedule, we can take some contract work and keep those things running. So that's one of the reasons that, I'll probably take it to 27 and then beyond. I'll probably honestly, I'm just going to max out however many heads I can fit in our designated embroidery area, which is a pretty good sized space right now. So I'll max that out. That'll be the last thing. But beyond that, for goals, I would say my goal is to fill the bucket, so to speak, that I built, and kind of keep it at that sweet spot with the right sales team. And then, once we get to the point where we don't want to grow anymore from a revenue perspective, at that point, we're going to, we'll call our customer list, and we'll kind of, we'll keep the good ones and we'll get rid of the bad ones. I think we talked about the last time I was on here, we talked about our annual traffic light report. And so we'll do that and kind of keep it at that sweet spot, but really kind of like, and I'm not looking to exit anytime soon, but certainly exit is something that is on my radar.
Well, let me ask you this, because it's an interesting conversation real quick. We don't have to go super in depth. And I've always struggled with this. And I think it's just because of my age or whatever, where I'm not even remotely looking at like exiting or getting out or whatever. But I also look at it as like where I'm at in my career and where I'm at with the shop and where it kind of runs itself. Why would I want to? Like, to a degree, wouldn't my goal be to get it more and more to where I don't need to be here at all? And then the company just runs itself in the background and always makes me revenue? Like, why do I need to sell it at that point? Like, what is the goal there? Like, I literally have a cash cow. Like, it's just creating revenue.
Yeah. And if that's the case, you may not ever need to or want to.
Right.
But you also might get to a point later on where you're like, I have this cash cow. It's performing really, really well. It's like a stock, right? It's like, oh man, the stock is awesome. But you don't know what, at a certain point you might get nervous and be like, wow, I mean, I could exit, I could sell and really be done. If you
put that money into the new big thing.
If you exit well, because some people, if you're truly able to completely like separate from that, then yeah, I mean, having it there generating money isn't hurting you at all. But I know a lot of people that can't fully do that and may get to a point in their life where they just want to fully separate, even if it is a cash cow. I mean, and if it really is a cash cow, then it's really valuable and you're going to be able to sell it at a good rate, at a good price. And
I just look at like
it's
what
more
I
of
want.
It's just preparing one way or the other, right? So it may not be like, oh yeah, my plan is that I'm going to get to this point and then I'm going to sell. My plan could be like, hey, this is, like you said, this is perfect. Like, I don't have to be at the shop every day. It's pretty dialed. I got great leadership. I got great management. I'm making good money. Everything's taken care of. Maybe I just do this and ride it out for as long as I want to. But you may also decide, just because circumstances in your life, that, you know what, I'm ready to move on to the next thing and I'm going to sell this. So for me is to kind of like just make sure that the business is as healthy as it can be.
You're prepared, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like for me, along the way, I've purchased three businesses along the way. Two of them were previously multi-million-dollar revenue businesses, two of the three. And when I bought them, they were a shell of their former, glory. Their brand wasn't worth anything. Their clients weren't really worth anything because there's no guarantee that they're going to transition. And you really kind of boil down to like, all right, well, what's your equipment worth? And that kind of stuff. And from sitting in that chair, from the buyer's chair a few times, it really made me look at it and say, well, wow, like these companies, these were some solid companies. And what happened? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that to be me. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, we used to do all of these millions in revenue every year. And now it just kind of fizzled out because I got bored with it, or not bored per se, but maybe just for whatever, it fizzles out, and then you just sell it because, you never really put the proper thought into the branding. You never put it into the trademarking. You never put into the, so for me, there's three things. And I've never, I'll just say I've never sold a company before. So I'll just putting that out there. This is my opinion from what I've seen in my time. This is my strategy of what I'm doing. I am trying to make sure that we have a market that we specialize in, because in these three things, each one of these things is something that I think gives me the best chance to sell my company at the right time for the most amount that I can sell it for. And so having a market, while obviously you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and you don't want to, you don't want to you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, but having at least one market that you kind of specialize in gives you the opportunity where, like, let's say that, we focus on breweries, and there's a West Coast company that focuses on breweries. They're massive and they want to start taking over East Coast breweries. And they're like, but there's this pesky Riptide in the way. We want all their customers, but their customers are loyal to them. They're not moving. How can we get rid of it? Maybe we'll just buy them, And so that's one example of why I think having some kind of market that you specialize in, even if that's a broader, like maybe it's not a specific one industry like brewing, maybe it's just B2B specific or something like that. Something that kind of makes it so there might be someone out there that you're a thorn in their side. The second thing is like
just one. There's only one person out there that thinks I'm a thorn in their side.
So, but like the second is management. You can't be like we talk about being not in the shop still running fine. That's important. You can't be the reason that customers come back. You have to be able to have a good layer of management that's making everything work, so that I could literally sell the company tomorrow and not tell anybody, and none of my client base would notice, which completely eliminates the risk, or the perceived risk, that upon a sale, all the customers are going to jump ship. They're not even going to know unless the new owner talks about it. It might not be something that they even know. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have that management in place, so that removing you doesn't actually compromise the value of the company whatsoever. And that's management, and then also your reps and that kind of stuff. So a good, a good team overall, but the management's key. And then the third thing is the branding. And and that's a big reason to why I rebranded, is because, maybe it's a venture capitalist company that buys it and they don't care about the brand, but maybe it's not. And maybe it's someone who was like, this is a valuable brand that I can expand. It's trademarked, it's a great logo, and I can, there's a lot of companies that will buy other companies and they pour their own, they have their own sales team and marketing team, and maybe, in general, and all right, I'm going to sick my team on them, and we're going to blow this company up 2x, 3x. And if you have a brand, a good brand, then it just, all of these things help your chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that those are three things that I'm personally focusing on to make sure that my company's worth when the time's right. Again, any employee listening to this, like, I'm not planning on selling. I got a lot of gas.
I'm cutting this up to make it look like you're saying you're out.
Sell.
Yeah, I got a lot of gas.
I can do anything.
We're good.
You're going to be a hot dog being like, fuck my employees. Robots are coming in. I'm selling tomorrow.
Time to
hot
sell.
Dog with a baby face.
But I mean, I think those are all important things. And that's making a lot of assumptions. Beforehand, you have to assume you're putting out a good product. You know what I mean? You actually do a good job. You're putting out a good product. You're making a lot of assumptions here. But once you've got those things sorted, those are three of the top things. And they're not the only three things you got to do, I think. But there are three of the things that I think are really important and that will set you up down the road for whatever you decide, whenever you decide it. Because we feel one way now and we might feel a different way later. And I want to make sure that we're prepared.
That's the thing that I think I'm struggling with is like right now I feel a way, but will I feel that when I'm 55, 60 or something? Like right now in my brain, I'm like, well, in 10 years, I might just want to be like, well, I want to travel the world and I want to take a road trip across the US. I want to do this and this. And like realistically, I could just take my laptop with me and like check in with people or do what I'm literally doing in my office from a laptop anywhere in the world. And I'm like, oh, I could do that right now. Like, let's just do that, whatever. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The thing is like I said earlier, like I can plan that and say that's what I want to do. And then the world kicks me in the nuts and comes up with a pandemic and then comes up with the economy going to hell and just throws all these curveballs and you never know what's going to happen. So
you never know.
I like Drue's idea of just being prepared now for maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but when it does, I'm ready to go.
Makes sense.
Well, the best part about all of that, right, is that it's stuff that we should probably be doing anyway, right? I mean, it's nothing, none of that is crazy. It's not like it's not extra, I don't think anyway. Like you want to have a good management team just so, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to do what you want. Like you want to travel with your laptop. If you have a crap management team, you're not going to be able to do that. So you need that part anyway. The market piece that's debatable, like maybe it's important, maybe it's not. I'd rather hedge my bet. And I think all of us, we find like whether it's doing a lot of work for bands or whether it's doing a lot of work for, the IT world or tech companies or something like that. I think we all kind of find ourselves, moving in one way or another just based on how we got started. And
I think the biggest thing with that I found, when COVID happened is I was glad that I had, like my foot in, 10 major markets and not just bands or just breweries or just this. And it was like, because if one of them went down, like if I just did restaurants or something, it's like, cool, every restaurant was shut down. It's like nobody's ordering shit. If anything, I'm donating stuff so that they can stay open. Like, I would rather be like, well, I also do that, but I also do hospitals and I also do this thing and the other thing. And then, okay, 5 of these are shut down, but 5 of these are cranking now. So I feel like that was the biggest, okay, cool, I'm doing somewhat of the right thing when that stuff happened. But all right. Do either of you have any new shop hacks or anything you've learned that you can share that's a tip or a trick that since the last time I talked to you? Buy more embroidery heads, apparently. From Drue.
Shop hacks. Oof.
Jarrod, you've been on press, man. Like you got to have something. Switch back to plastisol. Is that a good one?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like switching back to plastisol was a pretty good shop hack. I do watch all these new young up and coming, Instagram influencers that are all like 100% water based, and I'm like, good luck. It's I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a hack, but it is definitely more efficient. It's less time. It's but no, I mean, most of the hacks I've been doing is all the same stuff. I don't have anything new. I keep trying to find new hacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really like when you're doing the same stuff for 20 plus years, it's pretty.
Like I've got it now. I'm good.
I definitely don't got it. I'm still
I don't
learning.
want to
every
learn
day.
anymore.
No, I want to learn more. It's just some of the things don't apply, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really, switching to print grip or PMIs, whatever their gel one is, has been a big one for us.
Yeah.
That's been pretty handy.
That's like a split decision in the industry. I feel like a lot of people I talk to are like, "Oh, hate it, never going to use it. This stuff sucks." And then there's other people who are like, "Oh, I switched and I swear by it." We're a swear by it place. Like we switched to it on all the presses and we love it. Now there's no aerosols. We don't have to worry about stuff in the hoodies. We don't have to we have it on every press. We have it on our live print setups. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
If anything, if you are live screen printing, having print grip or pallet gel on that is the best thing ever, because you're out wherever. All you gotta do is add water, scrub it off, and it's sticky again. You don't have to bring glue with you. You don't have to all this other stuff. Like it's great. So
we've been pretty happy, and we got like 8 months out of a set.
Yeah,
and
same.
We
tested on one of the presses, and we didn't stick with it.
That's what I mean. It's like a printer's preference. Like there's shops that I know too, where it's like one operator loves it and another operator on another press is like, nope, never. Not gonna use it.
I'm torn because after it was done, it was one of those things that I had them switch to it, checked in with them in a little bit later. They weren't really liking it. Having trouble with, I don't know if they used it wrong. I don't know if they put spray on it. You know what I mean? There's certain things you can do to screw it up.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely a learning curve.
Yeah. I didn't look too much into it. I love the idea of it because I would love to get rid of all spray tack.
Yeah.
Just keep the shop a lot cleaner.
There's like no web spray for hoodies.
No web spray. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. That's, I think the only shop hack that we put our Zim guns, spot guns. I can't call them Zim guns. We put them on like, have you ever seen those? They're like,
are you talking about like the bungee things where it's like
they're not
bungees,
but so you can't drop it because they keep dropping them and knocking them off. So we have it hooked up to a one of those industrial like pulleys. It's like a wire, but it's like an auto wire. Yeah, so you pull it down and then you spray it, and then you just let it go, and it goes up. And we haven't had to buy Zim guns in a long time. So that's probably one of the that's probably the one thing that when other shop owners come in the shop and they're like, oh, whoa. That's probably the only thing that that people are like, oh, that's cool.
I saw a cool one the other day. Like for the listeners, this is something that I've been trying to do recently. Like we just came out with a new website, and there's a thing on the website where we're adding, it's not there right now, is a whole shop hacks section. So I want to go back through every episode, do all the shop hacks anyone's ever done, list links to those things and like tips or tricks or whatever anyone listed. But right now on Instagram, I went through, took hours or whatever, and I went through all the old stories of shop hacks people have shared. So if you go to the Instagram now, there is a shop hacks highlight where you can go through and see them all. But now people are like adding again, which is nice. And I saw one the other day, it was kind of cool. It's like a magnet, and it's got like two like claws on it or whatever, but it holds a tape roll. So it's like, on like head 1 or head 14 or whatever, you can have this magnet on top with the tape. So if you got to grab something real quick or tape something off on the screen, you don't have to like go find tape or whatever. It's like right there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
think
thought that
you
was
get
a little
those
cool
at like Harbor Freight.
Yeah, maybe. I saw them on Amazon. It was like a 2-pack for $10 or something.
Yeah, and it's a 2-pack because it's actually for a roll of paper towels.
That makes sense.
Oh, those ones. Yeah.
We have those. So my shop has a lot of vertical steel posts. And so we've got on every
Magnets
post,
on
we have the magnet paper towel, like the blue shop towel holders. And then we also we use them for tape. They make cup holders that you can put on like the on the frame of the dryers and stuff and all that. So you can get those at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. All right, quick takes. This is for both of you, I guess. What shirt has your shop printed that you are the most proud of?
Oh boy.
Ours is always easy because it's something of pepper. Like we print so many pepper shirts for our dog.
But you personally, like, what have you made that you are the most proud of?
Yeah.
For me, it's always band shirts where I'm like, oh, I finally printed for, Primus or Green Day or something.
Well, last year, actually, one of our biggest customers, we did Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia, Beatles, David Bowie, Sammy Hagar. I don't know, all these bands, and it was like crazy printing Dead stuff like every day.
That's awesome.
And it was wild, right? Because everyone bootlegs it, and I was like, oh, we actually have the files.
Right, like I actually have the original, like the real
that was
ones.
pretty cool. That was pretty cool to print for them. That was a good little like oh, these are the big one. This is cool.
Mm-hmm. Drew, what do you got?
We almost printed for the Celtics last year, but that fell apart because they wanted like an 8-color print with roller screen and all the stuff. And anyway, so that was kind of a bummer.
Well, it's like Justin Lawrence right now is doing all that Thunder merch. I don't know if you guys have been following that, but like he's been like every game they're ordering like 20,000 shirts
because they put a shirt on every chair,
chair for every game. And he's like, "Oh, cool, they won. We now have another 20-something thousand piece order. We have to get done by Friday or something." Wow. And it's like, "Oh, they won the next one. Next Friday, we got to do another 20,000 shirts or whatever."
Wild.
It's crazy
I was really hoping they were gonna. I was hoping the Celtics would be in it again. Yeah, we've always been too far north for years for that kind of stuff. Like when the Patriots were winning everything, we were too far north. But then all of a sudden, I guess, I don't know what happened to the printers down in the Boston area, but all of a sudden now they're reaching out to us to do these things. And but they got to win. Probably, I would say, maybe it's not a print, but we did some stuff for Theo Vaughn a few years back. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty proud of. Usually, it'll be maybe not a glamorous customer, but it's just somebody that I've wanted to work with for a while, or that we've kind of set our sights on, and we finally got them, and that kind of thing. So, and usually it's those bigger customers that order consistently throughout the year, not so big that they destroy your production schedule, but just the more I stack those up, I'm pretty proud of each one of those because it just feels healthy. I'm proud
when the schedule is full in general.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It feels healthy for the business. It feels healthy for the team. It's good for morale for my team. So they're they're always like, there's always work coming in. This is great. So I'm proud of that.
If you could snap your fingers and change one major thing about your shop, what would it be?
Ooh. AC for you, Jarrod?
Yeah. My staff would be stoked. AC for sure, but for real, like I should have invested in management earlier. That's been a hard one for us to like really get in like a leadership team here, just because we are still a little smaller. But that's always the one thing where I was like, I need to take myself out as the doing everything. And if I would have started probably with a better leadership setup, I think it would have helped us probably grow or stay a little bit more steady throughout the years.
I would hard thing to come by.
I would probably our dark room's not ideal. And the way the building is set up, there's not much I can do. So it would probably be like kind of like a primo darkroom setup if I could snap my fingers and do it. And there's probably a solution for it. But it's probably the only thing in the shop that I'm just like, if I'm giving someone a tour, like that's the part that
you avoid.
Yeah, it's just not how I would like it to be. And even just size of it, and love to have it twice the size it is now, and all that kind of stuff.
There's things with that too, where I have all the tools and the toys that I want and stuff, and the same thing like the dark room. Like I have the cool stuff that I want to run in the dark room, but I've been to mega shops like touring with like M&R or something, and you're like, oh cool, you have a dark room that's like 8 times the size of mine, but it has 3 chambers. It's like, okay, this room we do nothing but coating in. This room is a dry room that has different like high temps in this thing, and then this is the room where we do like the eye images or the lasers or whatever are in. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. You have like,
so nice.
like, this is perfect. Or even like, I just went to Tyler's and like, he has a dark room that's a good size, but in his dark room, he has a greenhouse where he basically, that's where he stores all the like screens drying and everything. So they're not affecting the humidity of coated screens and everything else. I'm like, ugh, like I wish I had that, but I don't have, I have like magic tricks in my dark room to like keep me having just enough space for like 500 screens, you know, like I had to get custom made, aluminum racks for the wall that are floor to ceiling so I could fit an extra 200 screens in one area. And then when we put the laser in, we built a shelf unit that was the span of the wall that just went over the laser where I could fit dried screens stored up top. And it's like, I'm making it work.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have the, you know, the coder and the laser and like all the toys that I want in there, but I'm just like, you know, doing Tetris to get it to work in there. So I feel,
well, the bummer for me is I
pain.
had that 3-chamber, you know, maybe not 8 times the size, but I had that. I built it out specific when I moved into the shop initially. The problem is that darkroom was built along the wall that we knocked down.
Oh,
yeah. So when I tore the wall down, there went the darkroom.
oh man.
So yeah, it just, and I really, I mean, I needed to take the wall though. I needed to.
Yeah.
Just this, I needed to do it. There was
Do
no
what
way
you
around
gotta
it.
do.
Yeah,
to
so
make a
we did it,
sacrifice.
and it's like, we had it. It was there, but
You'll get it back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. Last question before we go. Top 4 favorite movies of all time.
I'm gonna go Lord of the Rings.
Fuck yes. Always number 1.
I'm gonna go Hobbit next, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy, and I love The Hobbit. But what kills me is that their answer to everything is the Eagles. They're like, oh, we're in hot water. Eagles are here.
Yeah.
And when I saw The Hobbit, I was like, the fucking Eagles again? Like, like you got away with it in the first trilogy. Like, don't use it now.
Yeah, no, the Hobbit was, it's not as good as Lord of the Rings, but that's one of those movies where it's like, especially back in the day.
I watch them once a year at least.
Yeah, and or like it was like comfort. It was like comfort movie. Like stressed out, you need to just. I could put that on. It didn't matter which one. It didn't matter if it was in the middle of it. I could just put that on, sit there. But yeah, so I'd say those 2, and then, geez, top 4. Ugh, man. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I've noticed with asking this question is you can tell a lot about a person by their top 4 pick. Of like, I can already tell, like, just from you saying Lord of the Rings, I'm like, all right, he has a softness side of fantasy, and like he's not a dick. You know what I mean? I can tell right away, especially with the Hobbit pick. Like, that's a mercy kill. Like, that's a you're like, okay, he's got a softness to him.
Oh,
wow.
All right, give me one more. We'll do 3.
Oh boy. Jeez, what's another movie I watched multiple times? Man, I don't know. You got something, Jarrod?
So Mad Max Thunderdome.
Nice.
Man, Lord of the Rings is up there. I watch Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter on and off throughout the years, even though like a lot of people are 50-50 on them.
I got really into Harry Potter when my daughter got really into Harry Potter.
What was the other one I was thinking of? Trying to think of the horror movies that are on my top list.
Horror movies are not on my radar at all. If anything, it's creature features. Like The Thing is one of my favorite movies. That's considered a horror movie, but to me, it's Aliens. So Aliens don't count as horror in my opinion. I'm
more of a like action, some fantasy.
I like Snatch. That's a good one.
Oh, Snatch is a good one.
Like dogs.
I like dogs.
I should have planned for this.
Betty went to blue.
I like to hit him with it. I want you to be unprepared.
It is.
I want what's top of mind, you know? Like Contact is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of like older school ones like Independence Day and Aliens. I went through the whole Aliens series.
Hell yeah.
We've got on Final Destination also.
Well, that new one just came out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one though. I like to. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of older ones. Scream did the whole Scream one recently.
where you got 36 movies to watch.
Yeah, there's like, you have to watch the couple and then you're like, okay, this is, you get the idea of it.
Okay.
But Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, yeah, those are always
top 3: Sharknado, Lord of the Rings.
all Sharknadoes, all 3 of them.
I would think, Drew, with the water stuff, you would have had like a Jaws in there, or a 20 or 46 meters down, or whatever that movie.
Yeah, no. Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean's pretty awesome though. I like that. That's
those are good.
That's up there. If we were going 4, I would throw that in there. I'd probably say like Lord of the Rings. Then maybe Pirates. Then
so you like trilogies?
I do.
Everyone loves it, or a saga. Everyone loves a good saga.
Yeah, like Hunger Games or something.
Yeah, during COVID, we watched every single Marvel movie in order. There's like 27 or 28.
There's a lot, and then if you count the Disney Plus shows too, like Loki is like one of my favorites out of all the Marvel things, and that's just a show.
Did you go in proper order? For Marvel?
We did proper.
Wow.
That's a lot of hours of TV.
That's a lot of hours of TV.
Yeah. It was
all right, boys. Well, I appreciate you doing this with me. It's fun. Both of you, I admire what you guys are doing in your shops, and very different, things going on. But thank you for getting on today with me. And Jarrod, thank you for guest hosting.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And being there. And hopefully you can get some relaxing time on the press and some air conditioning in your face. And
definitely no AC. We can hope and dream for it so much, but there's not gonna be no AC.
Yeah, good catching up. Thanks for the invite, Dylan.
Drew, I'm going to make my way up to you here, hopefully this year.
Please do.
I want to get up there and hang out and see your place and whatever.
Let's get on the lake.
Tyler and Alexis too have been texting me like for the last 2 years and like, hey, are you still planning on going and seeing Drew? And I was like, yeah, when do you guys want to go? And they're like, nice. We want to come too. So I have to make a plan. I mean, you're not really that far away. You're like 5 hours from me.
Oh, that's nothing.
So
come on. Jared's been up.
Yeah, I've been up there.
When are you coming back, Jarrod?
Yeah, I need to make a trip.
You were at my last one.
We'll meet in the middle. Like we'll meet and we'll go up there and we'll all hug.
All of our powers combined. I need a good road trip soon for sure.